Perfect. Alrighty. You ready?
Yeah.
How's the wine?
It's good.
Good.
Have you tried it yet?
Nope.
Shit, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for welcoming me.
Yep, that's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good. I like it.
You drink coffee?
I do.
You put sweetener in it?
No.
Straight black?
Yep. I'm a fucking man.
I dig that, man. I dig that. I think we need to get you some rubbing alcohol instead. That seems more up your alley.
No, I just don't. I like it. I genuinely like the taste of black coffee. I have some of this nitro creamer I put on it every now and then that I found at HEB that tastes yummy.
Yeah.
So when I need something sweet, but yeah. Do you drink coffee?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But not energy drinks.
No, absolutely not.
But coffee.
Yeah, like I'll have a cup in the day, and I try to cap it at that.
Okay.
Because otherwise, when you say enough is enough, you know, you get to the afternoon, you're like, oh, I'll just have one more. And then you're all jittery and dehydrated, and you don't know why you feel like crap.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have put in that you were a strong, deep voice.
What if I talk like this?
Still strong and deep.
I'll take it.
All right, cool. Here we go. All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of David's Saturday Night Sick Back. Tonight, I'm very grateful to have Josh Vinyard on the show with me. He is a stuntman, breakdancer, and movement specialist here in Austin, Texas. You may have seen this man jumping out of exploding buildings, fighting cyborgs in films such as Alita Battle Angel, jumping across tables to tackle innocent diners. I don't actually know if he was innocent or not, but that's my either, projection of, you know, you're just being a dick and tackling people.
He was in the way of my movement.
Of your jump.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. He does you can find him doing handstands in front of Shell stations and on treadmills, performing all types of feat I can only imagine of doing. Some of his projects include The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Long Road Home, Love and Death, Fear of the Walking Dead, West Side Story, The Magnificent Seven, and many more. Today, though, he's sitting back with me to chirp about all things stunt, dance, and who knows what else. Josh, welcome to your episode of David's Saturday Night Sit Back.
Well, thank you very much. It's nice to be here. And gosh darn, what a welcoming.
How'd that make you feel?
Like I've done some things, I guess.
You've done some things.
Yeah, but like I don't know, at least I don't really sit back and reflect on things. I am just such a forward-minded person. Like I forget what I had for dinner yesterday. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I haven't done much in life.
No, come on now. You came all the way from California.
Well, now I have.
Yeah.
Life started at 35. I thought, just shake it up.
But did you stay in California the entire time?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do in there? Like, not work. What'd you do?
For fun?
Personal life, yeah.
So I went to the gym.
Yeah.
Well, COVID, so same as you, like I don't reflect a lot, but over the last 3 years, spent a ton of time with family, doing lots of board games, ping pong. My mom bought a house, so helped her move into that. Spent a lot of time at the gym. Before that, though, in Sacramento during the summertime, spend a lot of time outdoors. There's a lot of hiking, a lot of rivers, a lot of lakes.
That's nice.
So I go outside a lot. I read a lot, spend a lot of time with friends. But that was part of the reason for the shakeup. I make some self-deprecating jokes that I wasn't doing anything, but I sort of did feel like I was just going through the motions because I graduated college, got the fucking dream job as an accountant. Nope, it's not much of a dream. And I did have a couple, I guess COVID sort of forced me to reflect on the fact of like, is this what I'm going to do for the next 35 years? Is just do the 8 to 5 and then go to the gym at night. And I guess I sort of started thinking about like, what do I do for fun and who is David as a person?
I think COVID really fucked with a lot of people's head in the capacity of, I now have time to sit back and reflect and evaluate my choices and my future choices and going, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, not many of us do, but we also don't have many hours to think about it in a day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought a lot.
Yeah. It was terrible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful. Nobody wants to think.
I read more, so that was a silver lining. So I was productive in that sense. But even that wasn't. It was nice. I picked up on some good knowledge, but that wasn't the factor I was looking for either.
No. Were you reading fiction or nonfiction?
Nonfiction. A little of both.
Like biographies?
No, so I read, you ever heard of the book Upstream? It's a bunch of case studies about how we solve different problems throughout the world. So one case study was about how a city in Chicago basically got its homeless population down to zero. Another case study was about how the a small city in Iceland got all of its teenagers to stop getting drunk often. So just one was about domestic violence and how they decreased that in a neighborhood. I forget what city that one was in. But it was basically just the goal of the book was to try to get you to shift your thinking from, instead of putting out fires and constantly be reactive, how can you be proactive about your life? And when there's an aspect of your life that you're not, that seems to not be working, what can you do to solve it instead of just continually putting out the fire over and over again?
Yeah. There's a quote, I don't remember who said it, but what life is 90% of what, 10% of what happens to you, 90% of it is how you react to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard that one.
Have you?
Yeah.
Any idea who said it?
Nope.
Me neither.
But I'll fact check it when I edit this.
Yeah, and shout out to that person.
Shout out Seneca.
Seneca?
I don't think it was Seneca.
Your guess is as good as mine.
He didn't use percentages. He was an older philosopher before percentages were a thing.
Is that real?
I don't know. I'm going to fact check that too.
I wanted to know. Like, maybe he was around before statistical math was a thing. I don't know.
I wish I lived during that time. Stats was a bitch in college.
Dude, I don't know. That's the type of thing where, like, you get an infection, you're going to die.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's dark.
Well, I could still get an infection and die.
That's true, but the percentage of it... See what I did there? Percentage?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did have a near-death scare the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. So I spent a ton of time outdoors as a kid.
Yeah.
I grew up... How old are you?
32.
So, yeah, I'm 35. So you probably had a possibly similar childhood to mine in the sense that we didn't have cell phones or computers or anything.
No.
So I lived outdoors as a child. And so in California, I came across all kinds of ants, spiders, snakes. I've never been bit by an ant. So I'm walking Thad in sandals the other day. Mm-hmm. And there's this hiking trail we go on. And as I'm walking him, I feel this like tingling sensation on my foot. And at first I thought it was my foot falling asleep, which would be weird because I'm walking.
Yeah.
And then it started to sting. Mm-hmm. And I looked down and there's like a dozen of these giant black ants biting the shit out of my foot.
Is tiny or big?
Right, like that long?
Yeah.
That long. So like half an inch? Like
Yeah.
they weren't huge,
Yeah.
but they were bigger than your
Yeah.
So then I get home, and in only 20 to 30 minutes, I had all these red lumps growing on my foot, and I almost got my kitchen knife to just chop it off.
Ooh, the lumps to your foot.
My foot.
Okay.
Before the lumps spread to my entire body.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And everything's fine. The lumps are gone. Foot's still there.
I'm glad you didn't cut it off.
I put some lotion on it and thought, before we go straight to the knife, let this sit for a few hours and see where it goes.
Lotion, does that help?
Not lotion, but...
like cortisone or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Anti-itch bug stuff I keep on hand in case I come across life-threatening ants in Austin.
Dude, those ants sound kind of gangster, man. They're like, you came to the wrong neighborhood, son.
They knew.
Fuck yeah.
I swear Texas is hazing me. I moved here. I showed up right before the ice storm in February.
Oh, yeah.
My power went out, and I had no food. I had no friends, and we just sat in this dark family room, and the only thing I had bought was firewood. So me and Thad just chilled in front of the fireplace for 5 days.
You have a fireplace?
Yeah.
Where?
It's around the corner.
I'm going to have to take your word on it. That's cool.
If you want to come back for a winter episode, we'll move the camera over there, sit on either side of the fireplace, make it real fancy like.
Sip hot cocoa, you got stockings over the thing.
Yeah, fucking Christmas, bro. I don't say
man.
happy fucking holidays.
No, man. I don't know why. That just reminded me of working at Chick-fil-A and, like, the very diplomatic things you have to say. Like, yeah, don't tell people Merry Christmas. Tell them Happy Holidays.
But isn't that like the Jesus Burger joint?
Yeah, absolutely, it is.
I thought they would encourage that sort of thing. Like, you said happy holidays?
Mm-hmm.
Get out, you sinner.
Well, like, Chick-fil-A was, like, one of my worst jobs. Like, and I've had some really awful jobs, but that was the worst, particularly to me, because of this very strong conformist mentality that they enforced on people and controlling your language. And even like, you probably notice, you don't say thank you. I'm sorry, you don't say you're welcome to thank you. You say my pleasure. I don't even, yeah, maybe you don't even need to eat at Chick-fil-A. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about.
I do, but I don't pay that close of attention, I guess. I've never caught on that they don't say you're welcome.
Yeah, do it. Say thank you. Watch them say my pleasure. Because they grilled that into them. That and a lot of other terminology. So it was really weird, and like, they didn't get along with me because I would not do those things. And I wouldn't do them. And they'd be like, Josh, you should say these things. Are you going to fire me if I don't? Well, legally we can't do that. I was like, okay, great. I'm not going to do it. And like, they hated it and they couldn't find a reason to fire me. But anyways, fuck Chick-fil-A.
So was it, if I was to go through the drive-thru tonight,
yeah,
and they say, I say, thank you for my burger, and he or she says, my pleasure, and I said, actually, can you say you're welcome? Would I just see them like,
yeah.
It depends, I guess, if I'm getting one who is sipping the Kool-Aid or if I get a Josh, because if I get a Josh, he would probably just say, sure, you're welcome.
There's not many Joshes out in Chick-fil-A. Like, and that's my other issue with it is everybody who worked there, it didn't matter if they were my age, younger, older, they didn't have any aspirations. And granted, I'm basing this off of the one location I worked at. But like, hey man, you got any plans for like college, a different career, and and they'd just be like, I don't know, maybe I'll become manager or something. That'd be kind of cool. I'm like, no, dude, I'm talking like long term. Like, yeah, I think manager would be cool. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on here, man? And like, I don't know, I hate that. That's being a product in your environment. That shit drives me crazy.
I wonder how they find those people.
Interviews.
but how do you ask this? So, Josh, where do you see yourself going in 10 years? Oh, I don't know. Perfect, you're hired.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they look more for like submissive behavior instead.
Submissive.
Yeah, like they don't want somebody who's going to argue with the customer or management. They want somebody who's going to do what they say. Say, my pleasure. Okay, no problem. My pleasure.
So what else would you say?
I don't remember.
Okay. How old were you for this?
22.
22.
Yeah.
And was it mainly just the non-conformist part that made it a terrible job, or did your manager, I don't want to say retaliate, that's such a strong word, but would they do anything to like make life harder on you because you weren't sipping the tea?
Yeah, they'd like send me up in the playscape to like, hey, a kid pissed up there, go up there and clean it out. And I go change out the trash outside, and I'd like open it up. I come back and be like, it's infested with ants, like with fire ants. So like, change it out. Like, no, absolutely not. You pay me, at the time, I guess $10 an hour. Like, you pay me $10 an hour. I'm not a fucking exterminator. Like, no, bro, just no.
When you mentioned the playscape, you brought back a memory from when I was 18. I was working in a kids club in a gym. Mm-hmm. And we had like different stations they'd assign you to every day, and I got the playscape one day, and I'm standing at the bottom of the slide, and I hear something coming rolling down the slide, and I'm thinking like some kid threw some fucking Legos or something. Yeah. And so I'm looking at the slide, waiting for it to come out, and sure enough, all these brown little turds come rolling down. I'm like, what child just like squatted at the top of the slide and fucking took a shit down?
That's the thing. And you're like, why would a child ever do that? Like, oh, they got scared. Like, I don't get it. Like, they're up, they're having a good time, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, I just got scared shitless.
No pun intended.
Like, it's all intended.
Yeah.
But good lord.
Like, what's going on in that child's home? Where, I don't know, man. We don't have to get into that. I try not to judge parents or anyone. But
I'm gonna judge everyone. I'm a judgmental motherfucker.
Good. Excellent.
I don't know.
The other one I'll tell you that you might like is we were playing, I forget if we were playing dodgeball or not even that, but this kid threw a ball right at my nuts, and it hurt. It hit me.
How old were you?
How old was I?
Yeah.
I was 18. My balls had dropped. Yeah, I was a man.
Yeah.
There we go again.
Yeah.
Second time,
Yeah.
just.
That's. I think that's why you drink black coffee. You think of that dodgeball moment, and you're like, "Not today, motherfucker."
So he does it again on a separate occasion. It was like the next day or maybe 2 days later. And so I told his mom, and I said, hey, just so you know, your kid, even though I told him to stop, he keeps throwing balls at the different guys' junk here, and it hurts. And she's like, oh, yeah, he does that at home with his dad, too.
Is his dad a eunuch?
And it was just like very matter of fact. Like, yeah, that's just what Jackson does.
Fucking Jackson.
Well, can we do something about this? Like, I'm not going to train this out of him. You're the parent.
Yeah.
I was like you. I was getting paid whatever minimum wage was at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to train this kid not to ruin the testicles of men in Folsom, California.
Yeah, like, I'm not out here dealing with Bobby Hills.
I don't even get, like, how do you even learn this? Because he doesn't know that hurts. I don't know, man. Just kids are 2 years in that kids club, and there's a reason I only have dogs.
I dig that, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of dogs, how great is this dog, right?
Look at him.
He's just chilling, laying there, being a good boy, a high maintenance good boy. You know?
So high maintenance. What am I going to do with you, Thad?
Cute little red bandana, looking fabulous as fuck. Look at him, man. He knows it.
He does. We were at the park the other day. We are going to talk about you at some point, but we were at the park the other day, and he does this thing where when we go to Zilker, he'll walk up. He doesn't play with the other dogs. He just walks up to the different people sitting and tries to get pets.
Yeah.
And so he walks up to this one little, blanket, and it is a lady and her kids. And as he's walking up, she puts out her hand and goes, "No, thank you." And I was like, the sweetest dog ever. And he prances up. It's a very non-aggressive, his tail's up and he's smiling ear to ear. And I just thought, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yes, come on, Dad. Let's go find some happy people.
Yeah, excuse me, what do you think you are? A fucking crossing guard? Child's coming across the street and you're like, no, abso-fucking-lutely not.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Yeah, man. But Thad probably went around that and was like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He went up behind her, lifted up his leg, and pissed all over her back.
Did he?
No, but I wish he did.
Fuck, I would have loved that.
I would have given him a treat.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
I took my dog to Zilker once. I was on a date with a girl. It was like a first date, second date, something like that, very early. And everything's going fine. My dog, she could have been aggressive. Sometimes she fought other dogs. Maybe sometimes she just played. I don't know. Kind of guess maybe depending on what mood she was in. So I was like, all right, I hope everything goes good. And everything's going great. And she's playing. I was like, yeah, Addie, yeah, that's the way, yeah. And then she pulls out a bag of treats. Fucking Addie. Because I don't know what it is. She was a shelter dog, and she must have starved at some point. Because whenever it came to food, that was like a ride or die thing for her. And she brought out those treats, and fucking Eddie comes and sits and fucking laser beam focus. And I said, I really wish she didn't pull those out. She's really obsessive with food. And she goes, oh, well, it's okay. I'll just put it away, and what's out of sight is out of mind, right? And I was like, no, not with this dog. And a minute, 2 minutes go by. She's sitting there. She's still staring, and her dog comes around. Just checking with the human. Hey, human, what's up? This dog doesn't even know there's food. Gets up close to her. She and fucking lunges at her dog. I'm like, Addie, no! And, suffice to say, that was the momentum the day went in, and, we didn't go out again.
You think it was because of that? No.
I'm sure it was my fault. I won't say why, but...
Why?
I won't say why.
Okay.
I'm good.
You're like, I literally just said no.
Yeah. Let's just say we're not so smart when we're younger.
How old were you for this date? Give or take?
Maybe 20.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a smarter person now.
Thinking of not smart dates, I remember one of my coworkers told me once, It was when I was still at the gym, and he was a personal trainer, and he's like, see, what you have to do is get them to meet at your place, and then when they come through the front door, pretend like you don't like the shirt you that you have on, and then take it off in front of them so you can show off your body and be like, I'm going to go change into a shirt I like more. And as he's telling me this, I thought, Chris, I will never.
No, man.
That is not. Is that a move? Would you do that?
I would not.
Okay.
But have you done it?
No.
Did you try it?
No.
Well, how do you know it works? Or it doesn't work?
I mean, I am single, so maybe on my next date, that's what I'll try.
Maybe you should just
it
go.
Can't get any worse.
Maybe you should just go to the beach with a shirt on or Barton Springs. Be like, I don't like this shirt. I'm gonna take it off, and I don't know. You just do that with every random group of girls sitting down and see which one reacts.
I could do that.
Yeah.
But I also I don't like girls. I prefer guys.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I've actually had a lot of them tell me I'm too big for them.
The guys?
Yeah. Like all that hard work for absolutely nothing.
What's wrong with being big?
I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with it. Fuck those people.
I love it.
Fuck those guys.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
I love how I look. That sounds so narcissistic.
No, man. Be confident. What's wrong with that?
No, I like how I look.
Yeah, feel good
And
about it.
my buddies at the gym, they tell me I look like a fucking Viking. I'm like, I'll own that shit.
Yeah, it's dope, man. Own that shit.
Got the beard, got the baldness, big shoulders. Like, fuck yeah.
Other dude doesn't like that he's rolling with the Viking because he's a little fucking Peter Pan, tiny little dude.
Little twink.
Little twink. Man, fuck him.
Twink.
Go find yourself another Viking, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, of course, man.
Well, I'm sorry about your date, but Hakuna Matata,
Yeah, it's okay.
upwards and onwards.
Yeah,
as they
good
would
on
say.
her. She had good judgment.
Yes. No. You seem like a good guy.
Totally, but
I've known you for a total of 31 minutes, but
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I'm on good behavior.
It's the pants.
It's got to be the pants.
Yeah, it's
I like
the
'em.
Walmart pants.
Yeah, man.
Can you see them? You can see them on camera. So yeah, if you're on YouTube, we actually don't know if they're lightning bolts or spider webs or neither or both. But you can find them at Walmart in New Jersey.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, my bad.
Yeah, come on, don't put me
Fuck!
in New Jersey.
You weren't in Jersey.
Yeah, man. I went to New Jersey one time. It's a lie. I've been there a lot of times, but I went there one time. Didn't know you can't pump your own gas. I'm out there and like, what the fuck you doing? I'm like, fucking, no, get in your car.
Same thing in Oregon. Really? Yeah, same thing happened to me. They were yelling at me, and I'm just like, I don't know your laws.
Yeah.
I'm just filling up my car.
Bro, I just want
Maybe
some
you
gas.
should have got over here before I had the chance to get out of my car, walk over, pay the machine. Not my fault it took your fat ass 15. I don't know why they have to be fat. That was rude. I don't know why your ass, regardless of its size or shape,
Yes.
took forever to get over to my car.
Yeah, how about you do your job before I do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ain't nobody paying me to do your job.
But I like doing my own because I like to sniff it.
There's something oddly pleasant about the smell of gas from like a distance, right?
Yeah, so when I'm in Oregon, I just tell them, I'm like, hey, when you're done, can you squirt a little through the passenger window?
God, man. That's got to be good for
Everything.
brain cells and skin and everything.
Yeah, if you ever wanted to get me like a, congrats on the pod gift, and you're in a store and see a gas scented candle, feel free to,
I will.
spend that $8.99 and ship it on over.
I will.
Yeah, fuck
Maybe.
this cedar and leaf and sage bullshit we got going on.
Maybe I'll just put like 20 cents worth of gas in a bottle. There you go, bud.
I don't know, because if a neighbor walks by and I have a candle, that they're not going to think anything of it. But if I'm over here, just like, seems suspicious.
That reminds me of Spaceballs.
Never saw it.
Get the fuck. Get out. Get out of your own house.
Okay.
Good. He's got this thing where like grabs a can. It's just fresh air. Because like they've got a whole thing where like they're running out of fresh air because they're in a space colony.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think that'd be weird. I'd be like, man, this guy is like got some bottled fresh air from Oregon.
Oregon.
Origami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you? as a kid, I have this impression of you like in alleys, bouncing off of buildings.
Yeah.
On playgrounds, like just fucking doing flips through the, those rings that all the other kids would just like crawl through.
Yeah.
And then when you turned 18 and finished high school, you were like, well, I don't want to grow up, so I'm going to be a stuntman. Is that even remotely close to?
Yeah, I'd say that's like fairly correct, But like, actually, like I started breakdancing like 13 in middle school, and like you'd have your middle school dances, and fucking all the kids are super awkward, and they all want to be adults, and they don't know what they're doing at the same time. And okay, let's make a dance circle, and nobody knows how to dance, and I get on there, and my hands like, plop, plop, I mean, you're like, better than what everyone else got.
Yeah.
But then, like, I stayed with it, and I got really competitive in high school. Like, my first day of senior, my first day of the senior year, I wasn't there. I missed it. I was in LA. I was at this worldwide competition, flew myself out there and all that crap. And, yeah, by the time I got out of high school, nobody really knew where I was going with my life, including me. And, like, my family, they played Switzerland neutral with it pretty well.
Switzerland neutral?
Yeah. 'Cause, Switzerland was neutral throughout the world wars.
Oh, I failed history.
That's a damn shame, because history is fascinating, really. It sucks to live through, but it's fascinating to look back in retrospect.
I don't know where it went, but someone did gift me. I brought it with me, I thought. Someone gave me this fat, 1,000-page book called The History of the World. So I put it up on the bookshelf because it makes me look smart. Maybe I'll look at it one day.
Does it have pictures?
No.
You can look at it.
I don't know. I've never opened it. I just lied to you. I'm sorry.
That's okay, man. Like, sometimes we gotta lie about things. I've lied to you a lot already.
It's been 38 minutes.
Yeah, dude.
What'd you lie about?
Dancing.
I've seen you dance.
Film.
Saw that too.
CGI is a hell of a thing nowadays, man.
It is.
Yeah, it's all a lie.
It's all a lie.
I'm a phony.
You don't actually do stunts? You don't do shit?
No, man. I just sit on my computer and CGI stuff.
Excellent. Huzzah.
Yeah. Huzzahs.
Huzzah.
Man.
So when you were 18, 19, 20, did you ever go to college or no?
Yeah, I went to community college, and I was like literally one class away from getting my associate's degree, and I dropped out to go to New York to be a stuntman.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to go to New York, or is there a couple different hubs in the U.S. that you should just be looking at if you want to be a stunt person?
Yeah, they have multiple hubs, L.A., Atlanta, New Orleans, New York City. And I'd say those are the big four. Texas is actually working on a bill right now, HB 3600, and they are going to pass competitive film incentives to the state of Georgia, because Georgia has the greatest film incentives right now. And if they do, Texas would become a huge hotspot for filming.
Cool.
Yeah. So, like, I'm over here holding my breath that it happens, but then again, like, the governor hates all the arts, even though it's $1 billion industry.
Our governor does?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, he's an asshole. Yeah.
Let's get a new governor.
Yeah, we've been saying this for a long time, man. This is the motherfucker who, like, whenever Austin got hit with the ice storm, he's like, damn, it sucks for y'all. I'm going to go hop on a plane to Tijuana. Deuce. Yeah, man.
While all the new residents were sitting in front of their fireplace, just
Yeah.
couldn't even go down the damn stairs because they were iced over.
Yeah, man.
I almost built a ladder rope so I could shimmy down from the porch.
Could you do that?
I can do whatever I want.
That's true. I mean, if you could, like...
I had no rope, but...
You could make a rope.
I could. I guess I could have taken all my pants and bed sheets and, like, finagled something together.
Yeah, man. This is like some Disney story.
Yeah.
Like, you made a long rope, you're out on your balcony, you're calling out, like, somebody please help me, and a handsome Viking man comes along and climbs it up.
I wish. That'd be nice. No, I got a noise complaint called on me, actually, my first time ever in this apartment.
Yeah.
I feel like they knew, too. They were like, it's a fucking Californian. Let's see what we can do to get him out.
California prick.
Yeah.
What noise were you making?
I was watching TV. It could have been... So here's the thing. If I'm watching American Idol or Yellowstone, the volume is maxed out.
Okay.
It was probably one of those 2 nights.
Why do you max it out?
Because I want to feel like I'm there.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, especially for American Idol. Like,
Yeah.
For Yellowstone, it was more just, I fucking love the show. But for American Idol, like, I want to feel like I'm at the fucking concert. You know?
wanted to be more immersive?
Yeah.
Would you get a surround sound?
Already done.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So there's one on that side of the chair, and the other one is over there. And now I just watched it earlier in the day, so they can't call on me. I'm like, it wasn't past 10 o'clock. Fuck you.
You should call on them first. Tell them they've got shit way too loud and it's you, and you finish with your show, and, you know.
Just make the call.
Yeah, just make the call. Beat them to it.
Beat them to it.
Yeah, man. You report them, and then whenever they call to report you, like, oh, sure, buddy. Why don't you turn your TV down, okay?
Yeah, watching your shitty-ass garbage shows over there.
Yeah, man.
Just turn on some good TV. Turn on fucking, Alita Battle Angel or something.
Have you seen it?
Nope.
It's surprising. It's deceptively really good. And maybe deceptive isn't the word. It kind of is. Like, when you watch it the first 10, 15 minutes, and granted, I'm hypercritical because I'm in it, so therefore I must nitpick it. You're like, ooh, I kind of see a plot hole here, and like, ooh, I don't know about that. And at some point, 20, 30 minutes into it, you get completely absorbed into it, and it becomes such a great story. So, recommend.
Okay, maybe I'll turn it on tonight, and I'll be texting you during your family dinner.
Nice.
Dude, you would never guess what Alita just did.
That was me.
Was that you?
Some of the scenes is a 15-year-old cyborg girl.
Sweet.
Yeah, there was I think 5 different stunt doubles that she had. And everyone had their own specialty niche. Like, there's a tricker, here's a martial artist, here's a parkour person, here's whatever.
Which were you?
I was the X Factor. Like, we need someone to do some weird, twisty, flippy, weird shit with a sword. I called Josh. Like, whenever they didn't know who to call for it, they would call me. Because I have an unusual woven background, I guess. Yeah. But, like, I've done martial arts, I've done parkour, I've done all that stuff, but, like, it's not my specialty. So they're not going to call me for it.
Even though I know you would probably demolish me, as a kid who grew up with lightsabers and swords and all kinds of shit like that, there's a part of me that wants to challenge you to a fight.
Oh, really?
Like, I'll lose, but
you don't know that.
I want to feel like I'm 12 and just having fun again.
I don't know, you could kick my ass.
Maybe I would.
You don't know.
I'm a Viking. Who are
Yeah,
you?
I'm a fucking English man, I guess. Like, I don't know. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna. I don't know. Call the cops on you. I don't know.
On your own fight?
Yeah.
When you lose? If you lose?
If I lose, or maybe like I'm winning and I still call the cops. Like, I don't know. Like,
my buddy challenged me to fight. He's kicking my ass. I need help.
I need help, and I don't know where I'm going with this.
But in Texas, I heard one of the things that made me happy is, isn't there mutual consent fighting laws here, where if two people want to get in a fight, like, as long as there is consent between the two of them, the cops are just like, yeah, whatever.
I don't know, actually.
I'll fact check that and send you a link. And if you want to get in a fight, just make sure the other person is down and you're good to go.
Maybe you have to have a signature from them.
I think there needs to be a third party present. So if one person is like clearly winning, the third party can get them to stop before they accidentally kill the other person. Is
We
what
have
I
a
heard.
third party. Right down here.
He would just go to sleep.
One of us is gonna go to sleep.
I've always wondered if someone broke in, if he would do anything, because he's such a lover. I think he would just be like, "Oh, a new friend."
Yeah. Does he ever bark?
Not often. At ghosts.
Someone's got to protect you from him.
Yeah. No, one of the first times we heard him bark, I had him for several months. And we were all hanging out in my mom's backyard, and he looked straight up into the sky, starts barking, puts his tail between his legs and sprinted inside of the guest bedroom and hid under the bed.
Word?
Never seen him do anything remotely like that before.
Wow. He saw something we don't know.
Yes. He saw Alita.
Do you think she's out in space flying around?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
It's true. Well, you'll find out.
I'll find out tonight.
I mean, she does go out in space, kind of.
All right. So you were 19, 20. You're in New York.
I went to New York when I was like 20. What the fuck? How old was I? I was 22. Yeah. Yeah, I was 22 when I went to New York. What was the question?
That was it.
I answered it.
Yeah, you were 22. You were in New York. You were out there for how long?
Years on and off, and that's kind of a weird question because, like, I had my dog. I had Addie, but she's a pit mix, and pit mixes aren't welcome out in New York City. Labeled an aggressive dog. And if you did find a place to accept them, it costs a lot of money. So, long story short, I couldn't afford to bring her out with me. So I go out, and I drove out there. I brought all my shit with me. I dropped out of school and everything. And after I finished the job, which is The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I fucking drove my ass back after 3 months, maybe 6, because I felt so guilty leaving that dog behind. Like, in the terms of my family, they know what's going on. I can explain it to them. Hey, I'm heading out, gonna be gone this long, I'll call, whatever, all that bullshit. But for the dog, you can't explain that to the dog. All they know is that their person is gone.
Right. And
that shit, like, it made me feel like a horrible person. So I went back, and then I just started traveling a lot back and forth, So I'd spend, like, weeks or months at a time in New York, and I'd come back out of guilt, and so anyways, years on and off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't explain shit to them.
No.
Unfortunately.
You can't. Everybody else is like, oh, they don't care. I was like, bullshit, man. I've seen my dog be depressed. Dude. Okay, you know how I know that is when I did America's Got Talent, I was gone for 12 days for one of the competition shows. And I hadn't been separated from my dog quite yet, and she's with the family, she's being taken care of. I'm not thinking about that. I'm on the show. Well, I came back 12 days, and we open up the door, and we're expecting like what you would see from normal dogs on videos, and like freaking out and jumping all over the person, and oh, I'm so happy you're back, and like I didn't get that. She opened up the door, and she just stood down the hall and just looking at me, and we're like, Addie, I'm here. And the whole family's like, Addie, go. She walks up to me like real slow. I put my hand out, and she goes, walks away. Gone. And she did not fuck with me until like 24 hours later. She's like, okay, I guess I can get over it a little bit. But she was mad as fuck. And that stuck with me. And I was like, every time I was gone, I was like, she doesn't know what's happening, and I can't explain it to her. And I think she's probably upset. And as an empathetic person, that kills me. It made me feel so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. What can you do?
Not abandon your dog.
That's what I'm saying, right?
I put him in boarding for 5 days recently because I had to go back home. Not had to. I chose to go back home for a couple days. And John, there's a glass door separating like the dogs from the humans. And when he got to that door and saw me, he was like fucking bouncing off the walls. He was so happy. I was like, oh, good.
That's what you want.
Right.
Yeah, man. That makes you feel good.
Came straight back home, ate some dinner, jumped on the couch, and we didn't move for like 3 hours.
Nice.
It was good.
You missed that dog, huh?
I did miss him.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
How long have you had him?
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connected at the hip.
Unfortunately, yeah.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were connected from as soon as we met. He just needed a home. He just needed to know he was safe and someone loved him. Now he's good.
That's what we all need, right?
Dogs and humans.
Yeah, I was gonna say dogs, and I was like, actually, no. Like, that's the shit that we all want.
Yeah.
We just want to be somewhere safe and want to know someone cares about us. You don't have one of those things, or God forbid, you don't have either of those things. Like, fuck me then.
Right.
Yeah. Horrible.
Yeah. I'm reading this book right now called The Gift of Fear, and it's you heard of that one? It's essentially about trusting your intuition, and there's a lot of analysis over like murderers and rapists and assassins, and like one of the common things that they found that they all had in common is just like really shitty childhoods. Well, that's not surprising and makes a lot of sense all at the same time, because they just need that like fucking eyes on them because they feel like they never fucking had it. So what do? They go assassinate an actress. Super sad. But after I finish, I'm like 2/3 of the way through it. I'm like, man, what would the world look like if we just loved the kids a little bit more? So simple, right? Just be good parents.
Like, I kind of like pull, I guess, like some comparisons to being out in nature. You're hiking around or something like that, And, like, some of these animals out there have got it better, and some of them have it worse. They're being hunted by people or other predators, and they're in a high-stress environment. And then we got squirrels at Mueller Park who don't give a shit because nothing's ever attacking them, and there's people, I don't care. I got nuts. Like, I'm busy here. Like, I don't know where I'm going with this.
I keep talking until you get to wherever this destination is.
I guess the point being is the world's just not a nice place. Mm-mm. It's really it. It's nice in some places and god-awful in others.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I've got two.
Two? Mm. Where do you land in that? Middle? Oldest? Youngest?
No.
Parents still together?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Are the five of you pretty close?
Definitely close within proximity. They all live within a mile of each other, and I'm the only one that's like 20 minutes away. I have actually been getting closer to them since my dog died. Because I remember, I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I remember you talking about what can we learn from like our pets passing away or loved ones and stuff like that, and like I guess one of the biggest takeaways that after she died was like, oh, turns out I am kind of a loving person. It's hard for me to express that, particularly with people, but with an animal, like, oh, I got no problem with it. And so after she passed away, I was like, I should make more of an effort to reach out because I'm kind of a closed-off person to that capacity. So we've been getting closer as the years have gone by.
Why do you think you're closed off?
That's a bit of a long story that roots back to like childhood stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into all that shit, but I mean, unless you want to get into it now.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. Well, like, for one, I'm ADD, and for two, I'm hard of hearing, and it was that way from birth. And I also have some shitty hearing. I'm sorry, some shitty vision, and I've got laser eye surgery a few years ago, so that's all good. And then, but whenever you're a little kid, you're growing up. And you don't see well, you don't hear well, and you're kind of bouncing off the walls a little bit because you're ADD and have this short-term memory type of thing going on. You just don't really connect very well with the outside world, and particularly for me, I didn't develop these communication skills very well, both the body language and verbally. So as I progressively got older, I progressively became more disconnected with other people and found it harder to relate with them, and definitely didn't talk to them. I was labeled the weird kid at school just because nobody knew what the hell was going on inside my head. I was just a quiet kid. And for that reason, it's hard to, I'd say connecting with people is more of a learned skill for me now than something I grew up with.
You seem like you're good at it.
A lot of practice, like a lot of really hard work and practice, and like I've read a lot of books on like social skills and awkward things like that. Like I've had a lot of things to overcome.
Yeah.
Like I think I was 15 when I really took the time to acknowledge these differences between me and the other kids, and I understood like there's a choice. I can either continue down this path of kind of like some antisocial behavior, or I can do my best to step outside my comfort zone and try to confront it. And I was on the school bus thinking of this, and across from me was this girl, and I was like, I'm going to try to say something to her. And I was just so nervous, my heart going, like, for real. And it wasn't because, like, I thought the girl was hot and I want to ask her out or something. It was just talking to a person. So I fucking, like, finally worked up the courage and looked over at her and I was like, hi. You know, she was like, hi. I was like, how you doing? Just, good. You? Good. And that was it. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I did it. Oh my God. You know, like that was like my first time trying to like get back out. I don't know, like talk to people.
Yeah.
Like I cannot emphasize how quiet of a kid I was. I broke my neck when I was 13 and nobody knew. I didn't tell anyone.
How'd you break your neck?
Gymnastics. Scorpioned.
Does that mean you landed on your... What does that mean?
I landed on my... I was trying a double front flip.
Okay.
Landed on my face, and my legs went back behind me. Yeah,
Ooh.
and everything in the neck goes... You know, and, like, I didn't tell anyone. Like, whenever it came to pain... This sounds, like, dramatic, but I'll say it anyways. Whenever it came to pain, whether physical or emotional, I kept it all to myself. And, like... I don't know. That's the kid I was.
How did they not know, though? Were you in a wheelchair, or what did that recovery process look like?
I mean, I didn't know. I didn't find out till I was 26, but it hurt like fucking hell.
What?
It hurt like hell, but...
What about your gymnastics instructor? They didn't say, like, hey, maybe you should...
No, they're like, you all right? I'm like, yeah. Okay, cool.
So your face hit the ground and your legs go over your body.
Yeah.
And then because you said, I'm good... They just practice continues.
I mean, what would any other normal kid do? Like, I don't know.
I expect that from the kid. I don't expect that from the fucking gymnastics teacher.
I mean, maybe you're right. I don't know.
I don't know either. I was never in gymnastics.
Mm.
Maybe I was when I was young for like a year or two, but
yeah.
I
don't know. I mean, either way, point being is I definitely had a tremendous high level of social anxieties, and like I spent a lot of years working really hard to overcome it, and like I had a lot of really awkward moments and just I mean kind of like earlier when we were talking about with the girl of the date, it was like, your fault? Yeah, it's probably my fault. Like, yeah, I think I did some really weird or awkward shit, not out of any malicious place of my heart, but out of a ignorant place. Like, I am doing really dumb things because I literally don't know better, and this is how I learn.
I just had, last week I had drinks with a friend, and, dude, I say some wild shit, too, just because I just think it's funny. And she's like, do you act like this on your first dates with people? And I said, yeah. And she said, maybe you should tone it back down a bit. And I was like,
oh, no.
It was right after I made this stupid joke. I've never had a washer or dryer in my own place before. I've always lived in apartment complexes where it's like a shared one. Mm. And I told her, I was like, I was so excited to have a washer. And on the first night, I turned it on, laid down over it, and let it wash my dick. And I thought it was funny. And she did too. And then that's when she asked the question. She's like, do you always make jokes like this? And
yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
If I think something is funny and it might make the person across from me laugh, I will say it because it makes me happy to see them happy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works.
Sure.
And we're crying in tears.
Sure.
And then other times they think I'm a fucking weirdo, and then I just know not to use that one again.
Yeah, but do you want to be around somebody who thinks you're a great person because you're a fucking weirdo, or do you want to censor yourself and not be able to express.
I'll never censor myself again.
Yeah, man, fuck that.
It's always it's almost when it comes to dating, anyways. It's almost like my test.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and if I come off as like too strong, too loud, always laugh sounds too much like Santa Claus. I had someone tell me he thought my laugh was incredibly obnoxious, and I was like, cool, glad we didn't waste any more time than we did.
Damn.
I'll go laugh with someone else.
Straight up, man, for real. Like, goddamn, I'm sorry you have such anxieties and insecurities with laughing, but my happy ass is going to go enjoy myself with my dog.
All right, Dad, it's just the two of us again tonight. Let's turn on Alita.
Yeah, let's turn on Alita and go call the... Did the person at the noise complaint call the cops or the landlord on you?
The landlord.
Yeah, call the landlord on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you were 26 or whatever the age was, how'd you find out that your neck was broken?
My lower back got hurt doing a stunt, and I went in. I had X-rays for the first time ever on my back, and the doctor came in and he goes, "So when'd you break your neck?" What? When'd you break your neck? I never broke my neck. What are you talking about? Sure you did. Look at the X-rays. These two cervical vertebrae fused together. You broke your neck. That never happened. He goes, all right, whatever you say. So what am I here to see you for? Lower back? Oh, wait. Jesus Christ, I did break my neck. Oh, my God.
You remembered on the spot? Just
yeah. Well, like, my neck, like, to, like, lean your head back like that shit hurts for me. You know, I love stargazing, but God help me if I do this for a long time, I got to hold my hand back and support my head or something like that. It sucks.
At Costco, they have these hammock chairs. So it basically is a normal chair, except instead of sitting you upright like this, you sort of just ease into it. Yeah. And it's exactly for, like, stargazing. I'm going to buy you one, buddy.
Okay.
Because I want you to be able to look at the fucking stars.
That'd be tight. Without hurting my neck?
Without hurting your neck.
That'd be tight, man. I'd like that.
Damn it. I was going to read you this. Let me see if I can find you this real quick.
All right.
Yes. Here we go. All right. Just a little poem for you from, do you know who, you better know who this is in your profession. I don't know why I said that. Maybe you won't. Vincent D'Onofrio. I butchered that last name. The guy that plays Kingpin and Daredevil, the series.
I never saw it.
He was also in the first, you know how they redid the Jurassic Park movies?
Yes.
He was in the first one of the new series.
Never saw it.
All right, so you don't know who Vincent is. Fuck him. All
yeah.
right.
I'm the worst when it comes to knowing movies, actors.
He's irrelevant.
Well, I'm sure he's a very nice person.
I'm really going to get myself canceled this episode. No, he's a great actor. I'd love to meet him one day. But this is a poem I think he wrote. Pigs can't look up, but I could pick a pig up one night and raise it into the sky and tilt this pig ever so gentle. I can make sure this pig's eyes line up with the stars. Imagine seeing the stars for the first time. I want to be treated that kindly and see the stars for the first time.
God damn, that's just nice as fuck. Jesus.
And he's not a pig, and he can look up. We know this because he sees ghosts.
Uh-huh.
But because he's sort of like a little chubby and I don't know, I felt the need to pick him up that night, and I showed him the stars.
Do you ever pick him up and you're just like, I just want you to know what the world looks like from my height?
Well, not with that thought in mind, but I do hold him like a baby.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah.
So
I bet so.
All right, what are we even talking about? How do we get onto pigs, stars, your neck?
Because these are fascinating subjects to just explore.
How about your hearing? How's that doing? Because you had surgery for it at one point, didn't you? Or maybe not surgery, but I saw you were all bandaged up and you had something.
I've had 5 surgeries on it.
Can you, your left ear?
Yeah.
Can you hear out of it?
No.
5 surgeries and none of them did shit?
No. Like, maybe 2, maybe 3 of them were, like, to try and fix the hearing issue, but it's really more of, like, you're probably not familiar with cholesteatoma.
Mm-mm.
It's similar to a cancer. Like cancer is a substance, and it just kind of spreads and eats away. And cholesteatoma, it's a really similar thing. It gets in there, it starts eating away the tiny little bones. And like we have a bunch of tiny little bones that are instruments in our ears. They pick up on the vibrations and things like that. And cholesteatoma just it ate it all away. And if you do not treat it, it can I believe it can go to your brain. It can like affect your vision. It can kill you. It's a deadly disease. So I had to go in at least 2 times to deal with that. If they don't get every single last cell.
So that was 2 of the 5 surgeries was removing all of that.
I think so.
So
granted, 4 of my surgeries were before I was 13. The one that you're referring to, I got, what was like 29 or something like that, and like that was my attempt not to fix my hearing, but to fix the hole in my eardrum. Because as a stuntman, I'm incredibly limited. Like I don't fuck with water. Water stunts, I don't do them. I didn't grow up with water. I didn't grow up knowing how to swim. I do have a custom earplug for it, and I've spent a lot of time working on that skill set for both survival, basic kind of reasons, and in case I was asked to do something for film. But ultimately, I can't do it. Anyways, they did that. They tried to fix the hole in the eardrum. At first, it was successful. Yay, good job. And I got to use it for my first job ever. Like it was really nothing. Like I fell into a pool and I swam around in the water.
your new favorite picture.
Yeah, that is the one actually. And that was a huge moment for me because I'd never been in the water submerged without earplugs. I mean, I have when I was a kid, but that shit is painful and leads to an ear infection if water gets in there. Anyways, the surgery ended up failing, and so now I just still have this giant ass hole in my eardrum.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it sucks, and I don't think I'll ever do that again because the pain you have in your head, like have you had an ear infection?
No.
For real?
Never.
Don't get it.
I think I got one when I was a very little kid, but I was too young. I was like 4 or something, you know?
Jesus, man, like some of the worst pain is the pain you have inside your skull. It fucking sucks, man. So, yeah. Although I may have lied to you a little bit, I said I don't hear out of it. I hear maybe 10% out of it. And I hear higher pitches, not lower stuff. So, like, the piano I just bought, down here, the bass notes, the big, deep bass notes, my left ear doesn't really pick it up. So I made sure I got the biggest motherfucking piano I could fit into my house just so I could try to pick up that sound. And, you know, I have a hearing aid, but it doesn't pick up those deep frequencies. Technology isn't there yet.
So your right ear wouldn't pick those up?
It does. But, you know, the sounds being projected over on this side and, like, I'm getting the leftover residual sounds, I don't get the full, rich sound, you know. Kind of sucks.
Congratulations on the piano, by the way.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
It's really dope, man.
Look how big so you just went from like neutral face to smiling face.
Dude.
Neutral Josh to happy Josh.
I'm trying to enjoy it, but it's a lot to process and take in because fucking hey, who goes around buying pianos for themselves? Not me.
Creative people.
Creative people.
You started playing in 2020, right?
Maybe. Like, it was actually before the pandemic started that I started trying to play it. Everybody thinks it was like a hobby I picked up in the pandemic. It's like, no, I started it right before shit hit the fan.
Sure you did.
I did.
February 28th. I'm teasing you. Why the piano specifically? You got trombones, bass guitars. You could have been a violinist, but you went the piano route.
I don't know. I don't have a good answer. It's just something I've always been naturally attracted to as a kid. And, like, finally one of these days I got the gall to be like, I'm going to try piano.
You were afraid to, though, right?
Yeah.
Why?
I didn't think I was capable of doing it. And, like, again, I didn't think I would be bad at it. I didn't think I could possibly do it. Because, again, you have a lifelong hearing loss issue. You have a lot of self-imposed limitations. And that was one of them for sure. And I tell people, like, out of all the craziest dumb shit that I've done, I've been jump out of exploding buildings, hit by cars and crap like that. And, like, that's one of the scariest things. People don't understand it. It is hard to explain. It's like there's something about trying to go for something that you believe you have 100% certainty to fail and still go for it. And, like, it's very difficult. And apparently, I am not bound by that limitation that I thought I was. And I think that's why I'm still so deeply involved with it now, is discovering the possibilities that goes beyond.
And you're really good at it.
Thank you. Appreciate that, man.
There's one post in there where, excuse me, you were doing the third movement of the Moonlight Sonata, which I didn't know that was technically the third movement. I thought it was a completely different song. But you had just a quick 20-second clip, and your fingers, they were flying, and it sounded really good. And did you even have formal training? Did you go get a piano teacher, or is this all self-taught?
My first year, I did not have a piano teacher.
Okay.
And for the last 2 years, I've had a piano teacher, Kyle, out in New Hampshire. He's actually a theatrical composer.
Okay.
So whenever I met him, he's like, "Oh, we both work in film. You want to learn piano? I haven't had a student for 15 years. Come on, I'll teach you. It'll be fun for me." I'm like, okay. And like, that was a game changer, man. Like, I didn't know if I needed a piano teacher. Yeah, apparently I did. Like, saves you a lot of hassle.
Well, I almost think too, it's more for someone like me, it could just be accountability. So I played the piano. I think I started when I was 6 or 7 years old. Played up until I was 21 for a number of reasons we don't need to go into.
Sure.
I played less and less and less, and now I haven't touched a keyboard or a piano in a couple years.
Yeah.
Bought one during COVID. Collected dust.
Yep.
It collected dust for 3 years, and then I sold it before coming here because it wouldn't fit in my car. I almost think if I'm ever going to get the habit, it's not that the knowledge or skill isn't there. If I'm paying someone $100 a week or whatever they charge these days, that will get me practicing, because then I'll know, like, oh, I'm going to see Josh for a lesson next Saturday. I better have worked on whatever the fuck he told me to work on.
Interesting. I feel like there's like a reason that goes beyond this accountability type of thing, though, or maybe it is as simple as that.
So it was also tied very closely to the church I grew up in. And so we were, for lack of a better term, to not get churchy, we were performing every Sunday.
Okay.
So you have that motivation of I want to sound good. I don't want to look like an idiot up there. Right. But also, I was really grateful to work with some amazing musicians, from the singers to the guitar players, and we all pushed each other. Yep. And so during our practices, we'd give each other ideas and be like, "Hey, why don't you do this on the piano? Like, try doing it this way," or like, "I heard this thing." And so it was a very collaborative environment. And then the church that we were all a part of, the director slept with the secretary, which is a big no-no, even not in the church world, for married people, cheating with their secretary.
Yeah, man, I thought that only happened in movies.
Nope. Shit. It happens in the church, too.
Damn.
There are sinners there.
Damn, get out of here. I thought they'd burst into flames if they walk in there.
No.
Shit.
No, they had a great time. The only thing that burst was his balls into her vagina.
Love it.
Go on.
Yeah, go on.
So essentially, as you could imagine, when that happens within a church specifically, it just causes all kind of rifts. And we were sort of a misfit island of toys that had gathered from all over the country. One of the musicians was from Atlanta, one was from the Dominican Republic. So essentially, everyone just sort of reevaluated where they were at in life, and they were like, we're all going to go back home. And then I also came out of the closet a little bit after that, and then I stopped going to church. And so I think it was, to your point, it was a mixture of all of that. But I think the main thing is just I'm not performing anymore. So not to make it sound like I only play if I can perform, but there was something about playing with 8 or 9 other people in front of a room full of 600 people, and everyone's singing the same song and excited and dancing, and you're just like, fucking energy in this room.
Yeah.
And so now when I'm just like playing at home by myself for the dog, I'm like, well, this is boring as fuck.
There does come a point where you question your own behavior and like, why are we doing this? What is the end goal? What do we hope to achieve out of this? And if you can't find answers out of it, then it is hard to find some motivation to keep going.
Yeah,
I feel you on that.
So, and it sucks because I do have some like regret and guilt over it, depending on the day, where I'm like, I put so many years and like hours and hours and hours into that, and I'm just not doing anything with it. Like, great, you're not winning, David. I don't know. What do you think about that mindset?
I think that's really similar to like being in a long-term relationship with a person, and that I don't know, say you date a person for 10 years and you have a breakup, and vast majority of these people will look back on this relationship and say, I've just wasted 10 years and like, oh my God, what have I done? And blah, 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 blah. Instead of tentatively looking back on it and seeing how have we influenced each other, how have we helped each other grow, or how have we devalued each other, and what do we leave taking it away? So if you spent all this time doing piano and you've walked away from it, are you walking away a better, more enriched person? It has its role with you been fulfilled and you need to move on to something else? Or are you ready to go back to it?
I like that.
Yeah.
Because I did.
You did?
I have some of my favorite memories with that band.
Oh, word?
You know,
out
like
in the church?
Yeah, maybe not the church specifically, more the people I was on stage with. Like,
right.
I fucking love every single one of them, and we had so much fun, and we all became better musicians.
Yeah, man.
Dude, once we all met, I feel like every one of us, we went from like maybe learning at this pace to learning at this pace.
Mm-hmm. To quote the Bible,
oh God,
two pieces of iron sharpen each other like two friends. Psalms something something.
Were you raised Christian?
Mm-hmm. That fell off though whenever like this girl I knew when I was 18 died, and I started like critically questioning things. You know, like I don't know what kind of God would allow the death of a 17-year-old girl, and then start going, well, younger people die and more innocent people die, and again the world is a cruel place, and you know, whenever you pierce the veil, it's hard to look back or not look back. Once you pierce the veil, it's hard to pretend like it's not there.
I've heard that phrase, and that's one of the few ones I actually don't know what it means. So you're saying, when you say pierce the veil, you're saying like that was your first glimpse at death, like piercing the veil was your first experience with something, or?
No, that was my first consideration of what if there is no God? Like an honest consideration. And to this day, do I take a agnostic standpoint? No. I'm sorry, maybe it is. Is agnostic the you don't know what to believe? Atheist is the you believe in no God.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess today I adapt more of an agnostic standpoint where I don't know the truth of anything. And that alone is pretty fucking terrifying.
Agnostic is when a person who believes that nothing is known or can be known of the existence or nature of God or of anything beyond material phenomena, a person who claims neither faith nor disbelief.
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't know shit.
You and me both, brother.
Man. But I guess to reroute away from the religious perspective of things, what were we talking about?
Oh, the piano.
Yeah.
So you started playing before COVID,
yeah,
and you had a teacher for 2 years. Do you think it's going to be integrated with your day work somehow, or is it purely just something that you wanted to do, not for fun, but it sounds like you almost wanted to do it for yourself, to take this thing that you thought, I can't do this, and see if maybe you can.
Yeah, I think piano is like one of those very few hobbies where I dared to branch outside of what was connected to my career professionally, because for the last, I don't know, at least 10 years, anything I ever did was career oriented. Like including the money that I spent, the skill sets that I learned, it's all, if it has to be applicable to the professional setting, or it has to be a necessity in your personal life. So this is one of those things where I was like, I don't need it, but I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
And stick with it. And now I just bought a fucking piano, and I'm like, dear God, this has nothing to do with my career at all. Jesus.
Why'd you buy the piano? Or we talked about that. It was mainly due to the. Was it partly your ear and partly you wanted to get off the keyboard?
Yeah, it was partly the ear, but it was mostly getting off the keyboard and understanding that there's a limited form of expression on a digital keyboard.
Right.
Yeah, and I've never really had the opportunity to sit at real physical pianos and play with them and understand them, and shit, I really want to know.
Did the keyboard have weighted keys?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Did it have a pedal?
Yeah, but
Ish.
like I got an aftermarket pedal, or like those shitty little thin black ones.
Yeah.
And like, oh, we can't do that. We got to go get a different one. And then like, okay, but now it squeaks when you press down, and like it shifts from side to side, and like this is stupid. It's dumb, man.
Now you have a piano though.
It's like a real one.
And it's shiny, and it's black, and it's big, and it has a zombie standing behind it, and huzzah.
It's us, man. That's what I'm saying, dude. But it's badass, and like, hopefully I enjoy having it.
Yeah.
My roommate, he's a personal trainer of the manager at Pete's Piano Bar, and one of those days he came in to use the bathroom, and I was practicing on the piano, and he goes, "Hey man, I didn't know you play piano." I was like, "Oh yeah, I've been doing it for a couple of years." You ever want to get up at Pete's and play sometime? And I was like, no. Like I do, but no. Give me a couple more years, my guy. So like honestly, I'd fucking love that, man. If I got good enough at the piano to be able to perform with live crowd, yeah, I want to go on there and yell at drunk people and give me your fucking money.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Have you been there?
No.
Check it out sometime, man. It's dope.
You been to Parker's Jazz Lounge?
No.
I did go there. I'd go back if you ever want to go. It's dude, it's dope. It's this. So it's downstairs. It's like underground. Not really, but to talk it up, it's underground. And you walk in, and they have this one whole wall is just this beautiful mural of. I'm assuming it's Austin. I visited when I was new here, so I didn't even have the thought of like, oh, is that Austin or something else? But it's all these really bright colors, and it's this big city, and then each table, has a very small lamp on it, and they have a bunch of these like sort of purple lights going on. So it's this very dimly lit room with the wall, and all the servers are all dressed in all black and just very professional looking. And then the curtain opens up and the music begins, and the show was about 60 to 90 minutes. And I love jazz, so being able just to go there with a friend and kick back and have a cocktail or two, listen to some live jazz music, it was so much fun. There's no piano, but that's okay.
There's no piano at a jazz?
Well, this night was specifically, the band was doing covers of Duke Ellington. So perhaps this band that was performing that night didn't have a pianist. But no, there's no piano that night.
How come you're a jazz fan?
I don't know. I like it.
Like, did your parents listen to it when you're growing up or anything like that? Or is this purely just you?
I think it's just me.
Cool. Those are the best.
When I was in 8th grade, someone played me Michael Bublé's album. Yeah. It was the one with the black and white cover, and probably one of his first ones. And I fell in love with the music. And then from there, I just started listening. Now I listen to, jazz when I'm work. I like a lot of the big names like Duke Ellington and just like the old school people that aren't around anymore. Like I fucking love that music.
Do you ever play around with the jazz scales on the piano?
It's funny you asked that. I thought that if I ever did get back into the piano, what I'd want to do is get a teacher, learn jazz specifically, because I did all classical stuff. Learn jazz. I thought it would be sick if I was like, you ever been like in a mall or in a building where they just have like a random piano player? That could be sort of cool. Or go play at a jazz lounge or in the lobby of a hotel, get paid a few bucks. It wouldn't even be about the money. It'd be more of just like, that'd be sick.
That's what I'm saying, man. Go to Pete's and get up there and give me your fucking money.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, the Viking pianist is performing on Thursday, June 14th. Come on through.
Man, that's a little risque of a title. Viking pianist.
Why?
Sounds like a Viking penis.
It might get more people.
Yes.
Well, that would be there too.
Maybe you can finally find your Viking man.
Maybe. Not going to find him just sitting in here podcasting all night.
I don't know, man. Maybe he'll find you.
Actually, one of my friends, he's like, you watch, you're going to find your future boyfriend through the podcast. You invite someone on, may or may not know he's into guys, and what will be an episode is going to end up being y'all's first date. And I was like, maybe.
That'd be tight, right?
It'd be a cool story.
That'd be dope as fuck.
Someone who doesn't mind the laugh.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who don't mind laugh. I don't mind the laugh.
Most of my friends love it.
Yeah. Like, it's good. You laugh, I know I'm funny. Like,
yeah.
What a great reciprocal relationship this is.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I guess who Who's that you went out with
Forrest.
that said that? Forrest? Man, fuck Forrest, man.
Fuck Forrest. I hope he hears this.
Oh, Forrest steps in some gum. Yeah, you see what I did there?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And dude, that day he was like 45 minutes to an hour late. So I polished off a drink, and I texted him. I forget exactly what happened. I texted him more than once, but I was like, all right, been here 45 minutes.
Yeah, man.
You here yet? Nothing. And I think I sent him one more, and I was like, all right, if I don't at least hear from you in a few minutes, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
So then I leave, and then he, like, angry texts me, and he's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm home.
Bitch? Yeah.
So then I thought it was super hot, and it was one of those moments where I was, like, young and couldn't believe he even agreed to go on a date with me, and I had no self-confidence. So he was like, can we still meet up? And I was like, if you come to my place. So then he came over, and we talked for, like, 30 minutes, and he left. And then that's when he told me the next day that he left because of my laugh.
For real? Yo, man, this dude sounds like a piece of shit, my guy.
The hot guys are.
Yeah.
I shouldn't stereotype, but...
But we will.
Okay. No, he was a piece of shit.
Yeah, man.
I would never... If I was going to show up late to a date, I'd at least let them know. And apologize and be like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm bad.
Breaking laws, and I will be there in 10 minutes.
Yeah, you know, like, shit. Like, I got into a wrestling competition with an old lady.
Yeah.
Like, it took priority, but I'm on my way now. Like, I don't know, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Locuseya.
Jesus, man. You know, common decency shouldn't be such a rare attribute in a person.
No. It shouldn't be.
And yet... Seems like it is sometimes.
Are you single? Dating?
I'm dating.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it one person or like dating like you're multiple?
It's one person.
Nice. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Look at that sweet ass dog right there. Oh my God. No, pretty good. Like, she's from like a small village in Mexico, and like she's just like the sweetest girl ever, and does not share a lot of American values, which I mean extremely positively. Like, you ever been to Buc-ee's?
It's really funny you bring this up. No. Gas station?
Yeah.
Someone on Friday night was telling me like, oh, you've been here 5 months and haven't been to Buc-ee's yet? And I said, isn't it just a gas station? Why am I...
Yeah.
Okay, please continue. I apologize.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's a Walmart-sized gas station, and, like, they've got cool merchandise, and they've got cool food and all that shit, you know? And, like, everybody I've ever brought to Buc-ee's, like, really, it's just, like, the novelty of everything. They go, what the fuck? Jesus, I thought it was just a gas station. I didn't know it was like this. And, like, everybody's always loved it, and they want to leave with a Buc-ee's shirt or something like that, you know? They love it. And I brought this girl there, and I was like, Buc-ee's, and she's like, oh, okay. I was like, wow, this girl doesn't give a fuck about this. And I was like, oh, she's not impressed with capitalism. This makes sense.
Oh, good for her.
Oh, absolutely. I was like, you passed a test. I didn't even know I had a test, but you passed. Actually, you know what? The greatest fucking story I have with that is... I think, like, the second time I ever saw her, like, she has an accent, of course. I'm hard of hearing, of course. So she comes over, and I was like, hey, what's up? Good to see you again. Like, are you hungry? He's like, yeah, I could eat. I'm like, okay, well, I just made some food, and okay, here you go. And she's kind of eating it. She's like, oh, yeah, it's good. And I was like, yeah, thank you. It's just, do you like cocaine? I was like, bitch, what? What'd you say? She says, do you like cocaine? And, like, I'm thinking to myself, like, how the fuck do I always pick these girls? Like, what is it with me? Why am I always picking these type of girls? Like, what the fuck, man? And, like, I put my food down, and I was like, no, I don't like cocaine. I've never done it before. And she's just like, okay. Do you like cocaine? She goes, no, I've never done it before. I said, no, you can't say that and then backtrack. You brought it up. You said, you asked me if I like doing cocaine. Let's fucking talk about it. Right. Let's talk about it. And she just goes,
Did you say it like that? Did you get like excited and aggressive?
Yeah,
and shit?
I did. Yeah, because I was like, no, fuck that. Like, let's get this shit over with.
Yeah.
Be on our fucking way.
Yeah.
And she just goes, I asked if you like cooking.
Oh my god.
So like I'm dying. I fucking my head's on the table because I'm dying laughing, but I keep having to look up. It's like, oh my god, is she pissed off? And oh my god, is she mad at me? And like she's laughing too.
Good.
Yeah, and that's what I was like. She's okay. I want to keep her around a little bit longer.
Do you like cocaine?
Yeah, man. No.
Cooking. Do you like cooking?
Yeah, I fuck with some cooking, man.
All right.
Like, it started off as like an economic survival skill, more or less, but
Some PB&Js.
yeah, you know, like it's a really difficult thing to learn if you don't have somebody there to show you how to do it. But whenever you start getting a few recipes and understanding some basic concepts, like it's fucking dope. It's an art.
Yeah.
It really is, man.
I love cooking.
Do you?
I fucking love it.
What do you cook?
Everything.
Do you have a favorite?
So last night, I like making stir fry. So last night, I cooked up some beef and some pineapple and zucchini and mushrooms and some of these Thai noodles, and I put in this new like Japanese barbecue I'd never seen at the store with some sesame oil and some rice wine vinegar. Cooked it all up, mixed it all together, and then fucking nom 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 nom. It's yummy.
Yeah?
Have
Put
some leftover
pineapple in
if
it.
you want some.
Does the pineapple complement the, I don't know, I guess the not sour, like the salty?
I guess. You
Yeah.
ever been to a Mongolian grill?
Yeah.
So went to one of those and they had pineapple, and so I thought let's throw some on.
Yeah.
And now whenever I make stir fry at home, I guess it's not stir fry. It's almost like an imitation homemade Mongolian grill.
Do you like your version better? Not quite yet.
They're different.
Yeah.
They're too different because I can't emulate the taste exactly, but I really like mine and I really like Mongolian grill, but they're not the same.
Yeah. And like how they source the ingredients and prepare them really makes all the difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like comparing a red wine to a white wine almost.
Yeah.
Like they're both wines, but you can't really be like, oh, this one's better than,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you'd prefer yours better because you're able to tweak it and your particulars, and you know what I mean?
I think there's also like when you go to a Mongolian grill, they give you the egg flour soup, and you usually get some egg rolls. There's the soft serve yogurt afterwards if you want some. Whereas when I do it here, it's just the Mongolian grill, and I'm doing all the work myself, which is not even work. I have a show on or some music, and so for me it's fun. But I mean, mine's pretty darn good. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I'll give it that.
Yeah. Do you like make it in big bulk and freeze some of it?
Mm-hmm.
That's a smart way. I'm just starting to learn that.
Yeah.
Smart.
I cook one meal a day. You could try this. It might work for you, depending on your schedule. I try to cook one meal a day and cook 3 portions. So that way I always have like 2 to 4 meals sort of rotating through the fridge.
Yeah, I do the same, but then like whenever you start getting on that 3rd or 4th day, you're just like, it's really good, but shit. I wish I could just save this for later. And it took me however many years before I was like, oh, I can freeze it and eat it later. Fuck. Really wish I thought of that sooner.
The Moonlight Sonata, why that song specifically? You seem like that's the only song you post about. I've never seen you. All I had to go off of was your Instagram, but like,
Sure.
Why that song?
I don't know. There's something incredibly dark and romantic about the first one, and as an emotional appeal, because I kind of like I consider myself an emotionally intuitive person. There's something about that that's just so soul gripping, and I'd always thought to myself, like, Jesus, if I could play this song, I'd be the happiest person in the world. I'd play that song every day if I could, and more or less if I can, I do. And I don't know. And then, I mean, there's 3 movements of the Moonlight Sonata. Mm-hmm. The first one's really slow and all that, like we just said. The second one is like kind of happier, chirpier, and that was my least favorite because I didn't like to identify with happy things. And then the third one, as you heard, it's really fast, it's really aggressive, it's really angry. Mm-hmm. And like I I guess the first and the third movement are both things that made me fall in love with piano in different ways. More than any other like Chopin song or anything like that I heard. There's something about these two particulars that I identifies with my soul that I can't label and I can't particularly understand. So I want to go further in and try to capture and understand this. You know? I don't know.
So are you the happiest person in the world?
Not always.
But you can play the song now.
I can, yeah.
Okay. Are you happier?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you watch 1883 by chance?
Yeah.
What did you think? Did you have any emotion with the scene when the wagons were going through the river and Elsa, of all the songs they could have played in that scene, she played Moonlight Sonata. Was it just like another scene for you, or for you was that like, were you edge of your seat just?
It's just another scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, like that was more like the use of Moonlight Sonata. Like it's either because I've learned it and I identify it a lot easier, or it's gained a lot more traction and popularity over the years. But I'm just like, damn, I really wish it wasn't so popular. Like, fuck. But when that was going on, like the little purist side of me, it was like, there's no fucking way they brought a piano over the ocean and they left it in the middle of the desert. It sounds so perfectly in tune. And
suspend disbelief, my friend.
I know, that's the problem. Actually, that is the problem with working in film professionally, is any sense of suspense of belief or anything like that becomes much, 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 much harder to let go.
Why? Because
you learn how everything's done. Like, when you're watching a magician, you don't know how he does the tricks. Magic.
Right.
You're one of the fucking magicians, you only see his fuck-ups. And, like, you take the magic away from yourself. And it's kind of a sad thing, really.
Do you watch? I have thought about the fact that if you're a chef, the last thing you're probably going to go home and watch is a cooking show because you just fucking did it all day. Mm-hmm. Do you watch a pretty minimal amount of TV? Because you're just like, it doesn't do anything for you like it would for myself.
Yeah. I mean, like, I used to watch because it's so enchanting, and then whenever I started working in film professionally, I started trying to watch more because now it's my job and I need to know who's doing what and who just made what and how do they do that, what's their technique, what's the modern thing, and then I just got burned out and I was like, I'm kind of fucking over it, man. And like now I'm actually trying to bring myself around to watch more things, but there's so much great shit I've never seen. Like, have you seen The Last of Us?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't. I heard nothing but glowing, amazing things, and I will make it a point to watch it at some time, but I'm not there yet. I haven't seen The Sopranos. I haven't seen The Wire. I haven't seen so much amazing legacy cinema just because I felt like I got so burnt out on it, and it's my fucking job to go here, and I don't want to watch. I don't want to sit down and analyze something, which is what I've conditioned myself to do. I just want to watch and be a participant.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to do. I try not to break things down. I try to suspend belief. It's a fucking challenge.
Sure, I could see that.
Yeah, man.
I liked how when you guys did the credits of what's your 3-minute movie on YouTube with the nurse dying?
It was a fan film I did for Dead by Daylight.
What's it called?
Dead by Daylight.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how during the credits they showed how she fell out of the window and what you guys used for her to land safely.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool because I don't see shit like that. So to be able to see, be able to get a little sneak peek behind the curtain, that was a fun little 3 minutes too. So well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man. That was like the first real film project I tried to direct, and it came off great. We spent an entire month pre-production and planning and getting everything down to a T because I don't got that much fucking money to be blowing on fan films. And we filmed everything in one entire night. And we've got a few people, but we've got some special effects. We have stunts. We have a few different locations. It's a fucking it's very ambitious for one night.
Yeah.
And you're contingent on the daylight. And just the fact that of being a good ethical person of we're not going to take advantage of the crew, knowing this is a non-union project. We don't have contracts stating these specific hours you're going to work. I told these people you will not be there any longer than 12 hours. And it's critically important to me to hold that because what's more important than the result of a project? It's maintaining respect with everyone. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Some studio heads might disagree.
Respect? Fuck respect. You're getting paid, aren't you?
Respect? There you go. How do you think of respect now?
It did make me think after watching that video, if I was being chased by a saw-wielding ghost,
Yeah.
and my only alternative was to either jump out this window or fight it or let it kill me.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. And it's a tough one for me because I'm afraid of heights. So when we go walking in the morning, this path, as you're driving here, you saw how like either side of the street has those walls on top of it. So the path that we go on is right on the edge of that wall. And sometimes he'll get so close, and it makes me, I'm like, Dad, get over here. Fuck, what the fuck are you doing? Get over here. And then one time, just like 3 mornings ago when we were on our walk, I thought, stop being a little bitch and go look over the side of that wall. So I got a little bit closer, and a little bit closer, and then I finally like sort of peered over, even though I was still like a good probably foot from the edge.
Yeah.
But for me, that scene was really scary because I was like, I don't know if I could jump out that window. I might just let the ghost fucking kill me.
Yeah, but like, let's rationalize this fear of heights real quick. Is that something blown out of proportion? No. It's a healthy respect of death and living, because what's the reality if you go 20 feet off of something and you have no idea how to properly break a fall? You might hit your head and you might fucking die. You have a healthy respect of death. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know?
Well, I think it's worse. I don't even think, like, in that moment on the cliff, it's bad because I don't think I'm going to die. Like, man, if I go over this thing, that's a broken ankle, a broken knee. I might be in a wheelchair. Like, I fucking love leg day. I did legs today. I love leg day. So if I ever had, like, a broken leg and I can only do chest and back from now on, I may as well just not go. I'd still go.
Yeah.
But I'd figure it out.
Well, if that ever happens, you can start breakdancing and doing handstands and all sorts of shit.
Can we talk about that?
Handstands?
Yeah.
Or breakdancing?
The hand stuff.
Yeah.
The funniest post on your Instagram one was the one where the gym employee was scolding you for the misuse of equipment. Yeah. And you know what I thought? Is it misuse? Who dictated that treadmills were only meant for feet?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was like, I didn't know that. Like, I see this it's all up to interpretation.
If you had no feet and you were in there working out on that treadmill, you think she would have walked in and been like, I'm sorry, you footless man.
I think so.
You can't do that.
Yes. And then I would have sued for discrimination.
Perfect.
Yeah. It was pretty funny, though, because at the end, she was like, that was pretty cool, though. Right. I was like, yeah, you're goddamn right.
How long can you do that for?
What, a handstand?
No. So, yeah, I'm jumping all over. I apologize.
No,
specifically the walking on the treadmill.
Depends how fast the treadmill's going, but like I can go for a while. It's easier to walk on your hands than to do a handstand. You know that?
No.
Yeah, it is. Because when you walk on your hands, you're catching a falling movement. But to stay stationary requires a lot of muscles being activated, a lot of these tiny little muscles working overtime to stabilize you. It's, I mean, like, think of this. Walking is a form of falling and catching yourself. Mm-hmm. That being said, you're walking, you trip on something, your foot catches on something, you fucking fall.
I don't fall, but maybe
you don't? Damn, what do you do?
Everyone falls.
You just do like a front flip and land on your feet?
Yep.
That's tight, man. That's dope.
That's what I imagine someone like you would do. Like you trip and you would just like make something cool out of it. Like, I'm just going to roll and then bounce up and do a double whoppy-wop and just keep on going.
Well, you know, last week I was taking my motorcycle out of the garage and, like, you know, I checked the tire pressure and the oil and did all the safety checks and I'm fucking walking it out and then I dropped the motherfucker. You know, and, like, it just sucks. It is what it is. Broke the fucking foot peg off. But I dropped it and I was like, yo, and I was holding on so hard it pitched me to the other side. And I had to walk out of my hands out of it to not face plant. So, like, sometimes I use it very strategically to save my ass.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the handstands, one of my least favorite posts was when you were I think this one was a few years old, and if it helps jog your memory, you were wearing a blue pair of shorts, and you were in what I'm assuming was your family room in front of your front door, and as you started to change position, you hear a crack, and I don't cringe often. TV and social media doesn't usually make me go, ugh. I went, ugh.
Yeah, that made me uncomfortable too, actually. That was around the age that I started, like, really identifying the creakiness in my shoulders, because I was doing a lot of these deep inversions, and I was like, I think I'm just going to stop doing this stuff, actually. Like, I want to start thinking of my long-term well-being.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the scariest stunt that you've done so far?
It kind of depends on what your interpretation of scary is, but I'm going to say, like, for me personally, like, maybe doing that car hit. It was the straight drive-through.
I really enjoyed watching that.
Good, I'm glad. I'm fucking glad, man.
Your misery brought me joy. So for that, I thank you.
That's what a stuntman does.
I loved what you said, though. You were like, look, do you want some more?
I'll do a little bit more, sure.
How you said, you were like, well, getting hit by a Prius is exactly what I imagined it would feel like, getting hit by a Prius.
Yeah.
Did it hurt?
I did have whiplash after.
Tell me when.
When? Yeah. Thank you. For like a couple of weeks after. And it makes a lot of sense. But I was okay because I was pretty... Like, I was wearing pads under the clothes and shit like that, you know, but... Getting hit by a fucking car and you're landing on asphalt. Like, the scariest thing to that to me is you don't control the stunt. You do your best to control the elements going into it, but once you've been hit by the car, hands off. You're in for a ride, man. Like, who knows where you end up at? It's not your decision. And the scariest thing to me was, like, what if you lose where you are in the air and you land on your head and get not a concussion, but you go into a fucking coma or something like that, you know? Like, what if I'm doing a car hit and all of a sudden the entire world goes black and I'm just gone? Like, that shit's terrifying to me, man.
Yeah.
My God. If you watch it, I fly about a foot off of the car and I land back on the car. Barely. I barely land on the trunk of the car. And if not otherwise, I would have gone about, like, what's that, 7 feet up off the ground and hit it. And my fucking boss, being the individual that he is, like, before we do it, he's like, Josh, let's be real. We both know that it only takes 6 feet, a 6-foot fall to kill a person. It's like, great. This is a great fucking way to start a prep talk, man. Thank you very much. This is also the same guy, like, whenever we did a fire burn, they lit my arm on fire right before we went, he goes, like, cameras are on me. They're rolling, and we're ready to do this thing. I'm fucking ready to get lit up. We got fire off on the side, and he goes, if you get burned, don't make a big deal out of it. Okay, guys, we're ready. And I was just like, really, dude? Like, I was fucking ready to go, and now you got my ass like, bitch. If I get burned, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. I'm burned.
You had a full sleeve on. You were fine.
Yeah, I was totally fine. But, like, actually, like, I had to take the jacket off, and the jacket was on fire. And when I pulled the arm out, we were saying, like, we don't know. We think the heat's gonna come up like a chimney, and that may cook you and get some skin or something. It didn't, thankfully.
I was gonna say, don't see any burn marks. So
yeah, they're all.
Skin seems there. Hair might look a little singed.
Yeah.
Maybe you lost a few of these. But.
Yeah, they're all emotional.
You ever gone to Hollywood Universal Studios out in California?
I don't think I've been to the studios.
It's a theme park of sorts. I think it's better now, but my parents took me when I was very young. And one of the attractions is you go into this warehouse and everyone in there, you're in the middle of this warehouse and it basically simulates what happens is if a big fucking warehouse catches on fire.
Oh, they do?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Talk about traumatizing.
Really?
I was in tears.
How old were you?
Under 10.
Oh, not old enough to know what's going on.
No.
Yeah. Did they use real fire?
Oh, yeah. The entire room except for, so if the room is this table.
Yeah.
And this computer is the box where the audience is. So you have the whole audience here, and there's a door on the other side, and the fire starts by coming underneath the door, And within a matter of minutes, the entire room is ablaze except for this platform that the audience is on.
Damn, how does insurance allow that? Fuck.
I mean, worst case scenario, you kill 20 of your attendees. No big deal.
Yeah, tickets aren't that expensive.
They're just people. We got so many people.
People are a dime a dozen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 20 of them burn alive at a family outing.
That happens only 1 out of 100. Get the next group in here.
Yeah. So, but now I love fire, but as a kid, I
love fire?
Yeah.
Do you play with fire?
Dude, that fireplace?
Yeah.
No, but if I could play with fire more, like if you were to, not you, but someone was to gift me a flamethrower, you bet I'd use that thing.
Dude, I'd be so afraid to use a flamethrower.
Why?
Like, if those things malfunctioned, they would explode.
No big deal.
It's true. People are a dime a dozen.
Just get a non-malfunctioning flamethrower.
Those cost extra.
Oh. No, I think fire is cool.
Yeah.
I when my family did like 4th of July and there's lighting fireworks, I'd always volunteer to set them off.
Yeah.
But being in a room on fire, no.
No way,
dude. As a 7-year-old?
No fucking way.
Because you don't know what's happening. You just think you're going to die.
Yeah.
You're looking in all 4 directions in this dark room with the only light being the fire coming from everywhere. Mm-hmm. And you can't even see the exit. It's like, fuck me.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm not even comprehending the veil.
Right.
I'm 7.
Right.
Just give me my Legos back.
Yeah, man. Like, Jesus Christ. Give me my flaming Legos back.
This is vacation. This ain't vacation.
Whose idea of a vacation is to go into a simulating burning building? Like...
Lots of people.
Fuck.
American white families.
White families? Don't see a single black family in there. Like, nah, hell no.
You want to catch your girlfriend in there? You want to catch just us?
Dude, your dog is so sweet.
I love him.
My God.
One thing that I wish for him is that he loves the porch, but only if I'm on it with him. So sometimes he'll go to the door and he'll give me the most depressed look he can muster. He'll put his head down like this, and then he'll put his eyes up.
Yeah.
And so I'll open the door for him. But we got these red, you live here, have you seen the red bees with the black wings and they look like...
Those fucking hornets, yeah.
Those are terrifying.
Yeah.
And they're right out there. So I'll let him out there and then I'll close the screen, but sometimes I'm podcasting or cooking. So then as soon as he gets out there and he sees that screen door close, you know what he does? He sits down and he looks inside.
Yep.
He puts his head down
and
his eyeballs up and he looks as depressed as he can. So then I'll go and open the screen door and I'll let him in and I'll close it. And then you know what he does?
Let's go back out.
I'm like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. That's the only thing he really does that gets under my skin these days.
You can feel it when he looks at you too, right? When he stares at you and you're like, God damn it. Yeah.
It's so sometimes, you know what I'll do is I'll put him out there and then I'll just throw a blanket over him. It works. Then he just lies down.
That's how I imagine I would handle my children if I had any.
You're not doing what I want? Let me just throw a blanket over you for a little while.
And this is why we can't be nicer to children.
I wish that's all my parents did. They had one of those big fucking sticks, and they spanked us when we were kids.
Oh, that sucks.
It hurt.
Yeah, my mom whooped my ass with a wooden spoon.
Ours was a wooden pizza thing.
The paddle?
Yeah.
Like one of those giant ones?
It was smaller. It's for like a single serving.
Single serving of ass? God damn.
It hurt.
Just drill holes in there to cut down on wind resistance too?
Oh my God. Just throw a blanket over me next time, Dad.
And then hit me with the pizza thing. Good God, man.
A wooden spoon, though, that would hurt too. Ugh.
My mom stopped doing that whenever, like, finally I guess I got older. Like, I cover it with my hands, and she couldn't forcibly keep them away. And she's like, take your hands away, else I'm going to hit them. I was like, I don't fucking care.
You
Do them.
Put them in your shirt?
No, they're just on top of covering my ass, and she fucking whooping the hands on my ass, and like I just take it, and that was like the last time. I think she was like, this makes me feel horrible.
What?
Just I don't know, beating her child.
Oh, or would you spank your kids?
I think it really depends. Like, in a general, like, it would not be a go-to thing to try to correct behavior, but, like, let me jump into talking about Addie real quick.
Yeah.
She was a really bad dog when we first got her. Like,
She a rescue?
yeah. Like, she's just destroying the house, you know, eating everything inside and tearing shit up. And, you know, we put her outside in the backyard, and she'd start eating the fucking house. Like, eating the side paneling. And, like, what the fuck is wrong with this dog, you know? And just biggest asshole ever. And then, like, I think I was, like, 16, 17 something, and, like, my breakdancing crew came to pick me up for practice, and I was walking out the door, and she shot out, and I had to chase her around the neighborhood for 45 minutes. And, you know, we're in school. We have very limited amount of time. We got competitions coming up, and, like, I got a group of people standing around watching me chase around this fucking dog, and I was so mad. And finally, I get her ass, and I carry her to the front door, and I open it, and I put it down. I was like, get inside, because, like, I need to have that smallest little victory, you know?
Yep.
And she's like, nope. Turned around, took off, and, like, I saw red, and I just tackled her. Fucking tackled her ass, and, like, got her on her back with a hand on her throat, and, like, I wasn't hitting her hard to harm her, but, like, I was slapping on her a little bit, you know, and, like, scolding her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was really just like, oh, my bad. You're the pack leader. I thought that was me. I thought I ran shit around here, you know, and, like, I let her up, and I was like, get inside. She's like, yeah, yes, sir. And, like, ever since then, like, she was the greatest dog in the world, man. Like, she was so sweet and loving after that. And, like, to go back and, like, to my dad, I remember when I was, as a kid, I was being an asshole to my mom, because, I don't know, I was being an asshole kid. And, like, my dad shoved me up against the wall and, like, said some shit to me, and, like, he didn't even hurt me, but he scared me. And, like, after that, I stopped being a little asshole kid. So, like, that being said, I think there is something in an animalistic behavior that does need to go checked with some physical intimidation. But no, it wouldn't be like a go-to response of harming people to make a point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very long-winded answer.
I liked it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because on St. Patty's Day, I went out to a friend's concert, and before leaving, I took him on an hour-long walk.
Mm-hmm.
An hour, Josh. He did not take a single shit. So, like, 45 minutes in, I was like, all right,
Well, I'm sorry, you're talking about your dog or your friend? What?
Sorry, yeah, I took him out for a walk before going to see my friend on St. Patty's Day.
Makes more sense, yeah.
And I don't usually leave him in the evenings.
No.
So I take him on this walk, and sometimes he shits within 5 minutes of being out there. So we're at 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40, 50 minutes. I'm finally like, all right, you just don't need to go.
Yeah.
Let's head back to the house.
Yeah.
Another 10 minutes back here. I go out, get home about 1:30, and all I wanted to do was just to walk to my bed and crash.
Mm-hmm.
I walk through that front door, and he's doing the thing Addie was doing from the time you were gone for 10 days. He was hiding in the bedroom, and, like, he's sort of peeking outside the bedroom door, and then I sniff.
Oh, shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know where he went?
In your bed?
No.
Oh, man, that would have been funny.
Yes. That might have been comical.
Yeah.
As you can see, the power strip is now hidden because it looks like, you can't even see the power strip. Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Fooled the stuntman.
Mm-hmm. Is it under the backpack?
Yeah, it's in the backpack.
Ah.
He looked like he literally put one leg on either side of that power strip and took the biggest shit that he possibly could.
It's a good boy.
Don't encourage that. So
Right,
I dragged him over,
Yeah.
spanked him,
Yeah.
put him in his crate, put my gloves on, pick up 95% of it. But then I got these fucking bleach wipes, and I'm cleaning the edge of every of the 7 different power things.
I hope you unplugged it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that the shocking feeling I felt?
Maybe.
Yeah, no, I unplugged it first. Hasn't shit in the apartment since.
Good.
So I agree. I
Yeah.
I don't think it's a coincidence that that's the last time he took a shit in here.
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
Yeah. Some sort of negative association with shitting within his household.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But, like, do you think he was doing that out of any malicious place?
I almost think he was, like, sick. I don't think he has no offense to him, he's smart in some ways. I almost think like maybe he's constipated or something.
Yeah.
It was the fact that in the 700 square foot home, he went on the 1 square foot. I would have preferred he not.
Yeah.
That was the part where it was like, really, bro? These lights also got redone because he decided to urinate all over them once.
Damn, how'd he get up there on the walls and ceilings?
That's exactly where he went.
How'd he do that?
No, he went, so it used to go all the way across to where the door was, and then it went up the door.
Yeah.
And so in that little section over there, he took a leak on it. I didn't notice, and then I turned them on for an episode, and while we're recording, one whole strip goes out, and then the other strip like starts turning red, and then green, and then blue, and the whole thing was on the fritz.
Oh, shit.
So afterwards, she left, and I go over to where it seemed to the origin had started, and I bend over to inspect the lights, and I smell urine, and I was just like, you fucking animal.
I hope you urinated to let him know that this is your territory instead.
Huh?
You know, you got to mark your territory. Let him know. It's my spot.
He did. Yeah, he definitely.
No, you got to.
Oh, I need to pee there now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to let him know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pee there now.
Yeah. Look at him. He's listening.
He is listening. When Addie passed away, how was that period of life for you?
Oh, fucking horrendous, man.
Yeah.
Well, like, I honestly don't know if her dying was as bad as the elderly twilight stage of watching their body break down. And even their mind, man. Like, I'd see her, like, walking through the house, and she would just, like, stop at some point, space off for, like, 30 seconds, and, like, start walking a different direction. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I think her mind is going, too. Like, God, it's sad, man. It is so sad.
How many months did that last?
A lot.
Is it what? Yeah, we had a golden retriever growing up who went, I don't remember the order, but arthritis, blind, deaf, and yeah, but you had to be strategic with how you walked up to him, because if you forgot and you walked up behind him and pet him, it would scare the crap out of him because he had no idea you were there.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, same thing with Addie. Started going blind, started losing her hearing, and, like, anytime you go for a pet, you kind of, like, wave the hand over the eyes, and so they register movement, like, oh, okay, sure, no problem, you know, and, like, even, like, I'd have, like, actors come over or something, and we'd rehearse a scene, and maybe there's a scene where there's arguing or yelling or something, and, like, Addie, the chillest dog in the world, now as an old lady, like, she'd, like, hide away in a different room, and I'd look back at her, and she'd just be shivering, you know, like, terrified, and I'd just be like, oh my God, okay, guys, stop. Let's only run the calm parts, and, like, everything else, we'll figure it out later, you know, and, like, it's fucking heartbreaking, man.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, it really is. Like, I don't know what else to say. I think that's just it. It just sucks.
What'd you do to get through it? Do you think you did a good job at getting through it?
I did the best job I could. Like, I don't know, what can you do? You try to make their lives as comfortable as you can, and you start sacrificing a lot of yourself to accommodate it, you know? Like, she slept in the bed with me. So whenever she was not able to jump on the bed anymore, okay, now I put in some steps in for her, and okay, now that she can't really go up the steps, like, all right, now it's just mattress on the ground, you know, and, like, that type of shit. And, like, bless her fucking heart, one time she had, like, 3 a.m., I thought she died, man. Like, she just started pissing all over the bed, and I'm, like, shaking her. I was like, Addie. And I'm like, oh my God, she's dead. And I turn on the lights. She's alive. Her eyes she was scared. She thought I was going to, like, she thought she was in trouble, you know? Of course not, man. Like, I get it. This isn't your call anymore. So, like, very calmly, like, okay, whenever you're ready, come off the bed, take her outside, let her do her deal, take the sheets off, put them in the hamper, and just, like, we'll deal with it tomorrow. Back to bed, and that's it, man. Like, they get older, you try to understand their limitations, and don't get angry whenever they do unusual behavior, because it probably is for a good reason. You know, I think a lot of people end up with regrets like that, where they they haven't spent enough time being empathetic towards the animal or whatever, and not understanding their struggles until they passed away, and it's all in context. And oh my God, I yelled at my dog whenever they're pissing in my bed because I didn't understand. I thought they're just being a bad dog, you know. So like, just try to be sensitive to the animal. Try to make them as comfortable as you can. And whenever they do inevitably die, as horrible as it is to say, try to remember the good things you did, because you're going to reflect on every single little bad thing. Whenever you beat your little butt for shitting on your power strip, you're going to remember that, and you're going to question it, and you're going to feel bad about yourself. That and every other little thing, and you will not remember all the good moments and all the wonderful, amazing things you did. But whenever she did die, I'd say the best thing that somebody had told me was, all the pain that you feel now, it's only because it's a reflection of how much you love that animal and how lucky that animal was to have you. I was like, actually, yeah, you're fucking right about that, yeah. So I started flipping the perspective and thinking about the good things I did with her. Also, like, don't be shy of pictures and videos, especially for the good moments, because again, you'll remember all the horrible stuff, you'll forget all the positive shit, and you get to look back on all this great shit you did with your dog and go, oh my God, you did have a great life. I was a pretty good fucking person, wasn't I? And like, at least to me, like, that's extraordinarily comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a new favorite moment recently when I went home for 5 days and I knew I was going to leave him here. In the best place he could possibly stay, but like I knew I was going to miss him.
Yeah.
So he always sleeps in his crate. I sleep in my bed. Woke up sometime in the middle of the night, had to take a piss. So I take a piss and I'm heading back to bed. I thought, you know what? He never sleeps in my bed. I may kick myself for this later, but we're about to be apart for a week.
Yeah.
I'm going to let him in. So I go over to his crate, and I just unlocked the door and opened it. And I go lay down in bed, not even knowing if he's going to join me or not, because I really think he loves his bed.
Yeah.
And under 60 seconds later, I hear him very quietly
testing the waters,
pitter-pattering in.
Yeah.
And I had my arm sort of out like this, and he jumps onto the bed, and he lays down right in between my arm and my side, and he puts his head on my chest. And I just thought, so then I closed my eyes, and 4 hours later, when the alarm went off, we were still just like that. And I was like, dude,
that you slept
this
great.
is the best little slumber party we've ever had.
So is the dog sleeping with you in the bed now? Or
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, like
when he gets older, like to your point, you know, when at some point his health starts declining and I want to give him some extra comforts, if that seems to be something he wants, I'll let it happen. But for the most part, I'm a pretty light sleeper.
Yeah.
So when I first adopted him and we were crate training, I didn't get any sleep because he was farting. He was trying to cuddle. He wanted to be in between my legs. Now he wants to be on my chest. Now he wants to be on my head. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God, can you choose a position and just stay there?
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. Like whenever he was getting older and they start getting more gassy and shit like that, you know, like.
And it stinks.
Yeah, there came a point where I was like, I have made a mistake by letting her sleep in bed with me her entire life. Like, I'm not now going to start being like, nope, hell no, get the fuck off of the bed after she's been sleeping here for 13 years, you know?
Well, what do you do, if you don't mind me asking a personal question, what if you had a guest over, some company for the night? Is she just going to be in, like...
I had to get off the bed, and she'd get off the bed, but she'd just sit there and stare.
See, I don't know if I could concentrate. Sex is already complicated enough without having
an audience,
his laser depressed eyes.
Oh, that, like, yeah, you put him outside the room, and you just hear this. You're like, she'll stop. God damn it.
So you'll like this story. One of my other dogs, I adopted her, had her for a couple of months, and then sure enough, I had some company over, and she was sleeping in my bed.
Yeah.
So I put her out the entire night. And then the next morning, do my normal thing, go to work, get back home, and she's not at the door when I get home, which she always is. I go to the bedroom, and as soon as she's standing in the middle of the bed, and as soon as we make eye contact, she squatted and pissed all over the bed.
Damn. She just started some dumb.
How smart.
Yeah.
She waited for me to get home to see her do it.
Yeah.
And say, this is my bed, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I didn't discipline her because I was like, I can't. She is doing what she thinks is the right thing to do right now. I can't spank her. She didn't do anything wrong, technically.
Well, I don't understand. She pissed all over your bed.
But she did it because I kicked her out and another person was in it. And I think she could smell them. And she was like reclaiming her territory. And I almost disciplined her, but then I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to. Because she never ever does this. She doesn't have a bathroom problem. She is taking back what she thinks is hers.
But I thought it was only males that mark their territory with urine.
She's a she and she did that.
It's true.
I can't. Sometimes science fails us.
It's true. Addie would pee with 3 legs. Always lifted up a leg. Didn't make sense. But you may be right. I don't know.
Maybe she was a male in her past life.
Maybe she identified as a male.
Did you end up checking out the app WeCroak?
No, was I supposed to?
No.
Okay, good.
So,
is this a sponsor?
No.
Oh.
Okay. So, you get 5 push notifications a day, and it's completely free. And we can wrap up soon because I know you need to go, huh?
Yeah, in a little bit.
So you get it sends you 5 notifications a day.
Mm-hmm.
You ready for what it tells you?
Okay, yeah.
Don't forget, you're going to die.
Goddamn.
Open for a quote. So let's see what came in 9 minutes ago.
Was that the beginning of it? Don't forget you're going to die?
That's the push notification you get 5 times a day.
Oh, that's the consistent one that keeps coming up.
So I get that 5 times a day. And then when you open the app, you get the actual quote. So this one is from Mary Renault. And it says, "One must live as if it would be forever, and as if one might die each moment, always both at once."
I'm sorry, say it again.
I'll let you read it because I didn't really register that one either.
Good thing I wasn't like, oh yeah, of course, it's so deep. I never thought of it that way before. Anyways, let's talk about
the dog some more.
Let's talk about the dog some more.
That one's a bad one. Can I give you a better one?
Yeah.
Because I screenshot the ones I like that don't take a lot of like fucking thought, and it's just a little bit more intuitive. Let me see if I can find you my favorite one. All right, here's a good one. What is the meaning of life? A simple question, one that tended to close in on one with years. The great revelation had never come. The great revelation perhaps never did come. Instead, there was little daily miracles, illuminations, matches struck unexpectedly in the dark.
That's kind of how it feels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is she right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think about death 5 times a day.
That's, you know what? It's probably healthy.
And I like it because not all of them are about death. It's almost more of like, take a moment to be grateful or take a moment to think about like, what are you doing with your day today? And is it purposeful or...
Yeah, I get that. I feel like that's so much easier said than done though. And like that type of cognitive mentality is probably greater achieved with like experimenting with mushrooms or something like that. You know?
You ever done mushrooms?
Yeah.
What was it like?
It's fascinating. It's I mean, I'm sure you're probably already familiar with some of the science behind it, and maybe I get it wrong, so please everyone forgive me. But like, you take this psychedelic and it makes more random parts of your brain spark with electricity. And so really you take these things, and some people have positive experiences, some people have negative experiences, because these little random flashes, your brain is now connecting in ways it's very unusual for it. And you spend a lot of times thinking like old memories you haven't thought of for a long time that you're thinking for absolutely no fucking reason other than it happens to be sparking. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and sometimes you just have these really unusual thoughts, again, random shit, And so you have all these things being pushed onto you. And so it's really how you choose to respond to this mentality that's being pushed onto you that you don't have too much of a control over. I mean, you have control of the environment, but not what's going to be presented. And whenever you randomly cycle through your life, it's much easier to put things in perspective and have appreciation for everything as opposed to appreciate the moment. It's hard to appreciate the moment. What does that even really fucking mean? Are we going to stop right now and appreciate the moment? What about 10 minutes from now? We're going to have fucking forgotten about it. Right? I think so. How do we really get into a place where we treasure each moment? Well, I guess it's probably like, what's the sound of one hand clapping? There is no answer. It's this, actually.
Very clever. Well played.
Yeah. But, no, really, though, like, I do think that mushroom experimenting is a very practical thing. Hopefully it gets legalized. Hopefully it gets researched and developed a little bit more, I think.
Was there ever a moment in life that you had this thought of, like, I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing for the first time in my life?
I'm sure I've had that thought, and I'm sure later I thought that was complete bullshit. You know? Sometimes things are really satisfying, gratifying in the moment, and then in retrospect you realize that you were focusing on the wrong thing. I don't know. But then again, this is all very arbitrary discussion.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Let me redirect it back at you. Are there moments where you feel completely satisfied knowing you were doing the right thing?
Yes.
For real?
Right now.
Yeah?
Yep.
Goddamn, good for you, man. Shit.
It's funny because when we did the very first podcast, I had an audio engineer here just to help get everything set up and essentially teach me how to get this up and running independently. Mm-hmm. And then he came on for episode number 20 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so two things. From his perspective, on his episode, he said it was really interesting to sit back and watch because even though I had no idea who you were, I could just tell, like, this guy is in his element, which was interesting because it was episode number 1. But he was like, you were a natural. Like, not to say it was your best episode or worst or anything. Like, I could just tell, like, this guy sitting here, he's doing what he's good at. So that was interesting to get that outside perspective from someone that knew very little about me. But then when we started recording episodes and I started thinking about the nature of the conversations and what we've talked about, I just realized that these conversations, it might sound funny, but, like, I really genuinely believe that these conversations are going to change people's lives. Not every single one of them. Some of them are just super fun. Like, I've thoroughly enjoyed sitting back with you tonight and talking about everything we've talked about. But there are a few key episodes where, you know, one of the more recent ones was someone who I had no idea this was going to come up in her episode. But she talked about how she was molested at 4 years old,
oh,
raped again in college.
Oh my God.
And now she's 45 years old,
yeah.
has a husband that she's madly in love with and who loves her, told some beautiful stories about her 18-year-old daughter and her 16-year-old son. And she is running a startup business that her and her husband suspect they're going to sell for over $1 billion by 2030. And so I am determined to get her episode and every one of these episodes disseminated to tens of thousands of people because we don't know who that girl is that needs to hear her episode and needs to get that breakthrough of, like, wow, like, I thought my life was only, like, you know, they're so caught up in that trauma that they think there is no hope. And then they hear Heather's episode and they're just like, and it does a shift for them.
Absolutely.
So this for me, man, I feel like this is my purpose. Like, I've been happier in the last 3 months than I ever have been in my entire life.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. That's
Thanks.
really cool. I'm glad you find something you find a lot of satisfaction in.
Yeah.
And, you know, who's that little girl that has been molested or something like that who needed to hear that story? Who knows what person is caught up in a religious fanatic organization, who maybe is in the closet, who needs to hear this kind of encouragement? Who knows what kind of very social anxious or hard of hearing people out there who need to understand that there's some overcoming type of thing. I'd like to think that we've accomplished some things and that we can lead some sort of example.
Oh, we definitely did.
Yeah.
This was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. This will not be one where I accidentally lose the audio.
Well, you know, if it happens, I get it, man. Like, shit. I said some wrong things.
No, for sure, man. Yeah, no, it will. It'll be good.
Yeah, man.
I just hope it reaches them.
Yeah, right.
So with that being said, I really hope that you give the episode 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and subscribe on YouTube.
Hell yeah,
if you would be so inclined.
Yeah, man.
And if you're listening to this, don't even do all 3. Just do whatever fucking one you're listening on.
Mm-hmm.
Takes 10 seconds of your time. I'm not asking the audience for money or anything like that. And you would be surprised how hard it is to get these reviews.
What I know?
So, for example, I texted one of my buddies who listened to an episode, said he liked it, and I was like, will you give the 5-star rating? Or will you give the podcast a rating on Spotify?
Yeah.
And he said, I'll think about it. And I was like,
oh, shit.
Why are you thinking about it? It takes, if I had asked you, like, hey, Josh, go to my Patreon and be one of my $50 a month members. And you said, I think about it. I'll think about it. I'd fucking get that. I'm asking for your hard-earned money. Of course you're going to think about it. I'm asking for 8 seconds of your time and something that's not even going to touch your precious algorithms. All it's going to do, it doesn't even send you a push notification when a new episode drops if all you do is leave a review. But for some reason, I am pulling teeth getting people to review this thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's extra energy on this other person's part, but, like, forgive me for daring to take a step back and play some devil's advocate.
Please do. Help me get through this this mental hurdle that I can't seem to jump over.
What if he doesn't think it's 5 stars? What if he thinks it's 4 stars or 3 stars, and, like, he doesn't want to put his personal signature on something, and he feels like it falsely represents him or something like that?
Okay.
But then again, is it so hard to say, oh, I thought it was really cool, but I can't quite do that. That is an incredibly hard thing to say. How are you going to fucking say that to a person?
But see, that's the thing is also, if they don't like it, I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, there's obvious things. Like, the episode released this last Saturday, the audio was rough. Like, you don't need to give me that feedback.
Yeah.
I fucking heard when I was editing it, and you better believe I was pissed off about it.
Sure.
But if you also didn't resonate with an and hey, if you also don't like it, that's cool too. I don't expect everyone to like it. And it's very, very long. Not everyone, it's fucking, the episodes are averaging like an hour and 45 minutes plus.
Right.
I agree 100%. Yes, that is hard feedback to give. I also just wish people would give it so if it was constructive, if they were like, I don't know.
Honest, constructive feedback is another skill set to learn, and not everybody wants to go through the process of it, But then again, like, a lot of us have also experienced trying to give positive feedback and getting a negative lashback from that person that conditions you to say, I'm going to mind my own fucking business. Fuck this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I get it's complicated on both sides.
Yeah.
But I also understand you got to pull teeth to get these 5-star reviews.
I'm going to do it. I'm doing it for that little girl.
There you go.
When I went home last week, I literally just started asking people to unlock their phones and hand them to me. And I got like 20 reviews last week.
Oh, for real?
Woohoo!
And that shit worked?
Yeah.
People just don't want to do that little obstacle of pressing a few buttons?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you need to write a step-by-step guide for them. and they don't know how to do it.
So you know what's interesting is for a few guests I did that. So I would send you, like, I won't do it for you. I'm just hoping you'll just give us a review.
I'll think about it.
But thank you. You know, like your own episode.
Hated me. Terrible guest.
So like for one I did, I was like, because Spotify has one thing that's a little finicky. Apple Podcasts has one thing that's a little finicky. So I did. And then I reworded the email a few times because it seemed wordy and jumbled and long. And so I was like, cut out this, cut out that, rearrange these things. And I did that with like 3 or 4 guests. And I noticed not only did the reviews not increase, but none of them even responded to the email. And I was like, I'm overwhelming them. So instead, maybe I just need to say, Josh, where do you listen? YouTube? Okay, great. Subscribe on YouTube, please. And not put any more work on you. Because I think... Because to do all 3 on my family's phones when I was home, it does take like 2 or 3 minutes. Not a long time, but like, fuck, man. I'm just asking people for their phones now. I'm like, if that's what it takes, I'll just.
You know what? To be honest, like I am like one of those fucking people. Like I get a random message from someone. It's like, "Will you do this and leave all this feedback?" And and I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna respond to this shit." Fuck. Hey, I'm one of those people. I'm sorry.
I think too. Thank you very much for asking the question back to me, because every episode I try to get into the why I'm doing this, because I feel like that explanation I just gave you about Heather, I almost need to turn that sort of segment into like a snippet for social media for every episode, because I almost feel like if people get like, oh, this is why he's doing it, it's not because he's a narcissist who wants all the attention on him and make $1 million one day. He actually has a purpose to change someone's life who may not get that glimmer of hope from somewhere else. They'd be like, fuck, I'll take 20 seconds to leave you 5 stars. That's all I got to do and you'll be happy? Okay.
I'm going to ask you a question that's irrelevant to the leaving 5-star reviews. It seems like you have some sort of attraction to the idea of, not the idea of, but I've heard you refer to you not being a narcissist a few times. Do you have some sort of uncertainty about having a podcast and talking to people?
Uncertainty? What do you mean?
Like, do you feel nervous talking to people and expressing yourself or something like that? Or I've heard you use the term not a narcissist a few times.
I think it's because I project potentially incorrectly that that's what people are thinking. No one's ever said that to me, but as I think about why are they not getting the reviews, or if they don't hear, I want people to know like the reasoning behind it.
It's hard to market for yourself whenever you have any sense of being humble. Because I don't really talk about much of the stuff I do. I don't post much of it on social media. I'm really the type of guy that doesn't go home because I don't want to talk about myself. I don't want to make it seem like I'm bragging. I don't want to. It's hard. It's hard to put yourself on a platform.
And I think that's even with, I hired a coach and we meet once a month for an hour. And he told me that to get listeners, you do have to be on social media.
Yeah. And
so maybe it's something I'm trying to convince myself is like, when you are, that's all your Instagram is, and that's all your TikTok is, and that's all your YouTube is, it may seem like, oh, it's the David show and I want attention, and I don't.
No.
For me, the satisfaction is right here.
Right.
Like, I got to have a super cool person over, had a fucking fantastic conversation, loved every second of it, and now there's just this added benefit that someone else with hearing issues will hopefully hear this episode, and it will encourage them and help get them confidence, and maybe even go through their own thinking process of, should I have this next surgery? Maybe we should pull back and wait first, or research it a little bit more, or whatever the fucking thing is. So, I don't know where I was going with that thought.
I don't know. We're just kind of like spitballing here. I'm asking questions and you're responding to them.
I think part of it too is that when I was younger, in my teens and my 20s, I did feel very unseen. And so I did do a lot of stupid stuff to get eyes on me. And so maybe I'm even trying to convince myself, like, That's not what you're doing anymore. You're not doing this for you. Like, you don't give a fuck about that. It's now we need to grow the audience for another reason. So I think it could be stem from that as well, of just not feeling seen in my teens to then shouting so everyone sees me in my 20s, and now wanting not me but you to go wide for that person with the hearing problem that needs to hear it.
You ever make peace with your inner child?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Well,
it's the... No, I haven't.
Yeah. Who wants to go back there to this dark place and deal with this person that they were? Because you spend all this time building yourself up to be somebody else. You don't want to deal with that aftermath.
Yeah.
It's a touchy subject, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the real shit right there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't get afraid that often. And when you were talking about the girl that you said hi to on the bus, it made me think of a time just like 3 weeks ago. I hit on a guy in the grocery store.
No.
I was terrified.
Yeah?
I never get that afraid.
Why this? Is it this particular guy?
It is because I was afraid of getting rejected.
Oh, and in general, you're terrified of doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I also want to meet with someone organically. I haven't been on any apps in a while now. I'm so sick of trying to meet people on apps.
It's fucking lame, dude.
So I really want to meet with someone organically. And part of my thought process is like, if you never try, it's never going to happen.
Right.
So I was in the grocery store, and there was a guy testing out some alcoholic beverage. And while we were, so I was, at first I thought it was hot. So I was like, I'm going to ask him out. And then my fucking heart started thumping. I was like, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
So I'm shopping, and I was like, just go back, take a sip of the drink, and then tell him you think he's really handsome and ask him if he happens to be single and into dudes. So
there ain't nothing wrong with that.
I went through a few more aisles, and then I was like, all right, just go fucking do it, as long as he's free, because if there's other people there, like, that'll make it, like, that'll make it a little bit more rough, you know?
Was one of the guys drinking it or passing it out?
Passing it out.
Okay, yeah.
So sure enough, he was alone and still there. He didn't have anyone testing at the time. So I walked up and I got more scared. And I just said exactly that. I tried the drink and I was like, yeah, actually, that's delicious. I'll take a 6-pack off your hands. And then I said, do you happen to be single and into dudes? And he caught himself for a second. And he's like, I could tell it took him a second to like register what I asked.
Yeah.
And then he smiled. He's like, no, I got a girlfriend. I'm sorry. And I said, no problem, man. You're just super handsome. I figured, take the chance. And he's like, yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And walked away.
Yeah. And like, but it's you did that and nothing bad happened.
No.
It was a pleasant exchange. But dear God, why doesn't it ever feel like that, man?
I don't know.
It doesn't. It's super fucking hard, man. It is so hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to have any sort of honest communication. We've been conditioned over the years to have some deceptive or maybe even manipulative practices in order to avoid these type of things like rejection. And overcoming them as adults. That's the fucking challenge. Because even if you do adopt this very healthy, adult, straightforward, honest communication, you will inevitably come across some other dick weasel who's just a fucking child who hasn't grown up quite yet, and you have to deal with this immature type of thing again. And I feel like those are the people we really just want to avoid. These people who want to lash out and be hurtful for no fucking reason other than themselves. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's hard. I don't blame us. I blame the other people.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's super fucking tough.
But hey, here's the thing that I was happy about is I could go home that night and rest my head on that pillow knowing that he was straight and with a girlfriend. Whereas if I didn't, what if I was mentally flogging myself because I'm sitting there thinking, man, he probably was gay and maybe he would have been my husband, but I know, like I had zero regrets.
Yeah. I would have brought him on my podcast. We would have talked and had a first date here and yeah, but instead you're like, oh, okay, no worries, dude.
I figured out everything I wanted to know.
Yeah.
And I was so happy about that.
Yeah. And that's why the apps are kind of difficult because it's so much easier to have avoidant behavior, ghosting people or even misrepresenting yourself, as opposed to a in-person interaction. You can talk to them for 5 seconds and make a proposal, and move on with your fucking life.
Right.
You know? But then again, there's also something to be said about people who are into serious dating who are on these apps, and maybe they're on these apps because maybe they're too overloaded with work and they don't have the time to get out. I'm not too sure. Or maybe they spend too much time being kind of reclusive in their homes and not developing outside interests with the world that allows them to connect with other people. In which case, you have these more reclusive people trying to connect with each other and not sure what they're trying to connect on other than I'm lonely. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then again, like, what the fuck do I know?
Same here. I just know I'm sick of using them, and that after years of being on them, it never even led to a third date. Like, it just never goes anywhere. For me, just for me, and my experience predominantly in Sacramento was that it was just a new thing I wanted to start.
Yeah.
I thought, along with the podcast, I'm going to start hitting on people. Like, as funny as that is to say out loud, like, if I find someone attractive and if the situation allows it to happen, I'm just going to fucking ask them and see what happens.
Yeah, what's the harm?
If anything, hopefully they're secure in themselves that it made their day just to get a compliment. Be like, fuck yeah.
Have you ever complimented somebody without trying to hit on them? Or compliment them because even though you don't necessarily want to hit on them?
Sure, yeah.
It's a nice thing.
Yesterday there was a guy in the gym with it fucking looks like his you've probably seen him, but he had a tattoo and it looked like he didn't have any skin, so you could see the back of his calf muscle.
Oh damn.
It was fucking sick.
Yeah, that's dope.
So I just told him.
Yeah.
And he got a big smile on his face, had a very pleasant 3-minute conversation. We exchanged names, shook hands, and went about our way. I made a friend.
Tight, right?
Cool.
Right. And like maybe later on you happen to see this person again. Maybe I'll talk more. Maybe it develops something into your favorable direction of a date or something like that. And if not, or maybe you're not even interested in that type of thing. Like I said, you've got a fucking friend. You've made a pleasant, positive interaction.
And in Austin, I need that.
Yeah, because
I don't know anybody here.
Yeah.
So the fact that I just have one more friendly face at the gym, and even if it's only leads to us having a under 5-minute conversation and we spot each other when it's just I'm happy with that. I like going to places and seeing faces I recognize. It's good for me.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, even though I'm from here, I did live in New Orleans for a few years, and like I mentioned, my time back to New York. And like you're out there, you don't really know people. You get fucking lonely, my guy. You just, like I said, you just want to see some familiar faces and start having some sort of association of a community around you. If you don't have that, well, fuck you. Again, take a step back. We're all part of the animal kingdom with societal hierarchies, and the way that life is kind of designed now is really unnatural. Like we're kind of like in a social experiment right now because we've been able to live this type of the lifestyle we've had for like 150 years now, as opposed to the thousands and thousands of years we have been around. Like the shit we do now is very unnatural. And the things you just said, that is very natural to engage and bond with a community around you.
Right.
But who really has that? Like, maybe you do jiu-jitsu or you go to church or something like that. You can get your sense of community here. But if you don't identify with these large things or you disagree with them, what do? Watch movies.
Yeah.
Or something. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. No, community is huge, man. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
And if you need help building it, one thing I did, you don't have to be as aggressive as I was, but when I first moved to Austin, I had a goal that every day I interacted with someone, whether it was at the dog park, at the gym, whether it was 30 seconds or 10 minutes, it was my goal that before I went to bed, I had to interact with another human.
Yeah, that was my same goal when I was trying to overcome my social anxieties.
It works. I think it does.
We have different goals, so it's hard to respond with the same agreement. But it is a progressive movement, for sure.
Here's why I said it works. I can now, at only being here at 152 days, when I go to the gym, chances are I have 3 conversations before I leave.
Oh, word? Damn.
So that's what I was implying when I said it works. For me, it was that it is those familiar faces. I love going to the gym and getting those interactions, whether it's an entire workout or a quick 3-minute conversation between sets. That just like does something for me that makes my day 10 times better.
And you know what? It gets a lot easier to meet and engage with strangers, honestly, as you start losing that fear of rejection, because some people don't want to be fucking talked to, and that's fine. And you can make a casual comment to them and get that feeling of fuck off, leave me alone. You're like, all right, never mind. Anyways, hey, what do you think of this? And like, this person's awesome. Now you're having a good time.
Well, and if you practice, you gauge that quick. You learn who those fuckers are real fast. And then you just know that Josh he's not going to be my gym friend. And that's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. He likes to come in, do his business, and leave.
And you know what? Like, that really is like my mentality at the gym. Like, I've met people at the gym, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're fine, cool people, but I want to do my thing. I want to listen to my music. I want to stay in my headspace, and I want to fucking go.
You want to walk on the treadmill on your hands.
That's it, man. Maybe do a few rolls on it, man. Yeah. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But I guess that also gets deeper into, it's not about a personal rejection. It's just this person choosing not to have an interaction. It has nothing to do with you.
That was a hard one to learn, and that I'm still learning.
It's tough.
I would be 100% lying to you. I can think of someone right now in Austin who I try to have a conversation with is probably that guy, and I took it personally. So I still do it.
I mean, hell, I think we all do. I don't know if you ever really let it go. I just try to have a fuck 'em mentality. Hey, man, what do you think of this? I fuck you too, you unfriendly ass bitch. What do you think of this?
Must be nice to have so many friends you don't need to make any new ones. You lucky guy.
You lucky fucking guy.
With all of the friends. Doesn't have room for one more. My bad.
Exactly. Damn, Josh, you're really defensive, man. What the fuck? Jesus. Person just didn't want to talk to you. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
I need friends.
I need friends.
Be my friend.
Tweet.
I'm going to get this guy.
Get this fucking guy.
Talk shit about him on my next podcast.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
All right, we got to get you out of here.
Yeah.
All right. Josh, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I had a good time.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone.